allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got one question there. What's that flag? I thought it's the Dutch. That's the Dutch flag. It's the Dutch flag, yeah.
Right? I'll have to open it up.
This is the Dutch flag.
I was wondering, I know there's.
Yeah, I think it's the Dutch flag. Yeah, because we were settled by the Dutch. Okay, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
You had a flag, yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay,
We expect you to find, that's intuitive.
Cameron, look like something to show us.
I know the one that I was.
no, well, it would.
Just watch out for the wires and such.
Okay. All right, what I want to do basically right now. Mike Bonds, by the way.
Jeff Doherty, Diana Klein.
Greg Simpson will be here. Just don't know when, or what day. And Joe Latondre. Absent. All right, public comment, first of all. And what we'd like to do basically is, you have the list,
I'm gonna get it as soon as you're over.
I am. So public comment could be anything, any topic you wish to talk about. If there's a topic that's scheduled for here, you can always talk then as opposed to now. So if I want covering it that way. I make a motion to open public comment number one. All in favor?
Aye.
So be it.
Agenda, no, that's all. Yes, you're on the agenda.
No, you're down as a presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Thank you.
Yep. One, just call people, add people.
Did you sign it? The sheet? It's not good.
It's a small room, raising hands is allowed. Lynn, this woman wants to be added. I'm trying.
Okay, who's,
You're up, Kristen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Shara, and I live on Hilltop Drive. And I know it's on the agenda to talk about voting on the attendance at the NISAC conference, but I didn't think we maybe would have, I just want to put in a plug for the conference itself and just publicize that a little bit. Because anyone can go who's interested. It's on October 24th and 25th, and it's sponsored by the Ulster County Environmental Management Council, which I'm a member of that council, and also the Ulster County Department of the Environment. And they have a full day conference where they're talking about a lot of interesting environmental issues that all towns are facing. And they have a whole presentations about energy transition. They have a series of presentations about what they're calling circularity, which is recycling and composting and what to do with solid waste. And they also have another one about land conservation and land use, including things like how to set up a preservation fund, if that's of interest. So these are all topics I think that are interesting, not just the CACs and climate smart people, but also possibly town board members or people in the community who are interested in environmental issues. So, and I also wanted to say on Saturday, they have a series of field trips set up, and those are free. And you just need to go and register for those. And they're going, for example, to the future site of an agrivoltaics test site in Highland. They're going to go to Hudson Valley Seed Company. They're going to visit Mohawk and take a hike there. You can also go into Kingston. They're going to give a tour of their UCAT facility and the electric bus charging station there. So there's a lot there. And if you can't make it the day of, which the registration fee for the general public, it would be, it would include all of the talks plus all the meals. And there's a keynote speaker at the evening dinner, and so that registration fee would be on their website, NISAC.net. But also, if you scroll down, you can register for just the field trips if you want. And again, those are free, but you would need to register in advance so they know how many, and you'll get instructions on what to do. So.
Yeah, you have, for example, on here, you and Lynn are going, is Erin Nyland going?
No,
She was invited.
she can't go.
So we actually have one spot open then.
Right.
And Brandon Ward, Richard,
Mike, I got a family coming into Madison 24, 25, 26. I can't, I would love to. I would have too, but
I've never been to 24th and, they never know right now.
all right.
But you,
I have conference.
it's too bad, for the rest of the
Mhm. Or maybe someone from the planning board, or,
This is on, when is this conference?
It's a-
24th and 25th.
Yeah.
25th?
Kristen, I'm still trying to free up. I may be able to do it.
okay, that would be great.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
While you're standing up there anyway, let's just take care of one business right now. This is a nominee, Kristen Sheriff, for reappointment to the UC Environmental Management Council. You're here. I think you're reappointed, obviously, you want to reappoint you and so forth.
Yes.
I make a motion to accept the resolution.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You're reappointed. So, Lynn, I need a certified resolution on that. And we'll send over to, I think I did it, maybe, we'll get it tomorrow. Okay, anybody else? Yes, yeah, this way we can record you. Anything you say that might be nasty.
Okay.
It's gonna wind up on our website and Facebook page.
My name is Treva Elwood. I live at 192 Zandhook Road with my husband and our 5-year-old son. And I wanted to take a moment to thank the town of Hurley along with Greenway. We've been composting our kitchen waste with the Earth Machine system and the odor control blend for about a year. Not only are we producing nutrient-dense compost for our garden, but we get the benefit of our 5-year-old child experiencing composting as a second nature. Other perks include no stinky trash, no bears going after the cans at the street on pickup day, and we're also delighted to have less waste going to the landfill, especially when that waste is easily converted into rich compost that we'd otherwise buy. It feels like we're cutting out some middleman and reaching all the benefits with simple sorting in the kitchen. Thank you to the town for adopting this program and connecting us with Greenway. It's especially meaningful at no cost to us. We were using a tumbler system that was really challenging to balance and definitely running into some hurdles with that in our efforts to sort of do the right thing, and feeling really thwarted in that arena. And working with this system, it's gone very smoothly for us. So we'll be benefiting from this investment for a long time to come. Thank you to Greenway and to the town.
Thank you.
I just want to add on to that. At Kirby Day, you had 14 people sign up
Oh,
for the
great.
Earth Machine.
That's amazing. It was really.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
We
first early day, we only had 2 people.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's right. First early day was only.
I signed up on early day.
You did, yeah. Yeah,
Maybe,
but
maybe that's why I don't have yours. And all my neighbors do.
I would not be surprised, really.
We don't have any food waste in our
Yeah, we don't put
trash,
food
so
waste
it's
in our
not
trash either.
a worry at all. And it doesn't bother the compost.
Were you getting bears and stuff beforehand?
Our neighbors do. In fact, there was one in the yard this morning.
Yeah.
Right.
Debbie had food.
That's how I know it was there.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's how I
right
know
around
the year
the
of it
corner
was
from the earth machine.
Yeah, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, somebody else? Good.
There's no one else signed up.
Anybody wish to speak? Okay, I make a motion to close public comment. Number one. Second, I have a second. Do I have a,
All in favor? I second.
Aye.
This is my third.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, Lynn, about the minutes, are they,
You have 1 unapproved minutes that are on the line,
We only have
September
one
9th.
outstanding at the moment.
I don't have the second one from
Yeah, I don't
September yet.
so number, the ninth and
I
the
didn't
thirtieth?
do the ninth. 30 hasn't been done yet.
The 9th is online, and I think everybody got a copy.
You all got a copy of ninth. Oh, you approve that?
No.
Yeah, we did,
I
okay.
didn't.
All right, we'll do it on the 28th.
Okay.
Okay, supervisor's report. Basically, I just have a comment to make, and this is about the lithium-ion plant. I got messages from elected officials asking all the people who are opposed to the lithium-ion plant to stop opposing it. My response is no.
They actually sent you a
Yeah.
letter.
She got in the paper, she wants all people,
Who did?
manager group. She wants all people who are opposing the plant to stop the opposition.
Probably get her reflected.
She said she was for it.
Did she say one?
Well, she
Yeah,
obviously
she thinks
thinks it's safe. She obviously
Green.
has not,
You guys get to realize it's green month.
they're trying to say it's green, but it's not,
It's not even, not even
green.
close.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous.
If any of you have access to the Kingston Wire website, they had a good article about the strange bedfellows of this, how people you'd expect to be opposed to this or for it because they're very pro-green.
Yeah, I'll definitely do the 25th. I'm having a legislative, thing at the NICET building, and Mayor Joe's coming. I'm going to talk to
Talk about that.
That's not the 25th, okay.
All right, that's all I have to say about that. John, recreation report?
Not too much to follow up on from last month. We are still looking for more folks for the early day committee. We're definitely moving forward with the senior soups. I did not purchase the pot, but I appreciate you all allowing me to do so. Our next meeting will be October 20th at 6:30 p.m. Hopefully I'll have some more information ready for the next meeting.
If you want to post an online solicitation about looking for people for the early day
My
committee,
neighbor's coming.
John, just write something up for me and we'll get that out.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I can put something on the website.
That's awesome, thank you.
I have also, we have lined up, John, for next year, we've lined up crafts.
Okay, well, I mean, so the committee should be coming forth and it should be what the committee decides to do, how they want to do it. It's going to be days of the week, times, what they want to do, crafts, early day corn, I don't know what's going to be. But I would really, I think it's a great idea, but I know I'm going to let the committee kind of decipher how they want to move forward with this. Maybe hopefully take a step back.
All right, before we get to presentations here, I guess you want to get,
Yeah,
Matt Cerny?
Can we,
Let's
yeah.
do an update
That
on
way,
the,
I don't think he's gonna do too much.
Matthew Cerny, President, Hurley Ambulance Service. We are in the home stretch of getting to our opening day. We have formed a great team, and we continue to build that team of professionals. And our goal is obviously to provide compassionate, high-quality, rapid emergency medical care to the residents and all the visitors of Hurley. Tomorrow night, we have a special meeting at Hudson Valley Regional EMS Council, and we expect that they're going to act on the transfer of operating authority for Hurley Ambulance. As you know, that's been a long time coming, and that's been a process, but we expect that to come to fruition tomorrow. Based on their expected turnaround time with New York State Department of Health, following the anticipated REMSCO approval, we're looking at potentially the week of November 10th is our target to go live. The ambulance headquarters on Basin Road is ready for occupancy. We take occupancy of that tomorrow. Pre-opening tours will be available for any of the town board members or any town residents that would like to see the headquarters, and just contact Chief Ken Fitzgerald to make those arrangements. EMTs and drivers are currently going through orientation and onboarding. We'll be involved in the setup and preparation of the new station and equipment. We're working with Ulster County Emergency Services to take full advantage of the county's operating grants, equipment grants, including new cardiac monitors and training programs for optional BLS skills. The town's 2 fire districts will continue to respond to medical emergencies as BLS first responders in close collaboration with early ambulance service. Any questions?
No, I look forward.
I'm sorry.
I said I look forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, all Ken.
Yeah, I'd like to go and take some pictures too.
How do you get hold of Ken?
I have those information.
Debbie's got his number, and I can give it to anyone offline. Would like to.
I want to say something about your work, Kent's work, and Debbie's work also. I mean, this is what towns are about, taking care of each other.
Right.
And I really appreciate that you guys stepped up, and it's anything that we as a town board can do. Come on in and then.
The town residents should know this has been a collaborative effort of everybody involved, and it's been critical from both fire districts, fire departments, the town board, folks with the ambulance service, my board. I really twisted some arms to get some people on my board of directors, and like me, we had no idea what we were getting into. But it's been going very well, and this is finally coming to fruition, but there's been a lot of people involved in it, so I thank you as well.
Thank
So
you.
you're gonna have the, you can come live, you're gonna have the 2 entrances at the Basin Road?
Yes,
That's where you're gonna have.
that's correct. Yep, we're going to be based out of the Basin Road location, which is technically the town of Kingston, but that is the geographical center of the town of Raleigh. Yeah, we will be, that's where we'll be working at.
I know, great.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presentation is A1 municipalities, Cheryl and
Chelsea and Patty.
Michelle or Cheryl.
Chelsea.
I respond to anything that starts with CH. It's fine. Crystal, Chrissy.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So let's go to where you need to. You can have my chair, actually, I'll sit there.
Okay.
So why don't you switch?
So just like a little grounding, so I'm Chelsea and that's Patty, and we're co-founders of Curry Miller. And really we specialize in our nonprofits and municipalities and figuring out how to unlock capacity among our most overworked and often underpaid workers who make our society run. And so about, I guess like 3.5 years ago, we started diving into the world of AI, which is as scary as it is promising, in our opinion. But instead of looking out where one could maximize profit through AI, we started looking at AI through the lens of, is there a way to leverage it to help workers be more human? And focus on the tasks that are uniquely suited or uniquely needed to be human for. So we've had a lot of fun, and we recently completed a pilot at another municipality where we went in and did a 2-part workshop with the municipal workers. And the first workshop was a grounding workshop where essentially we just gave the overview of AI and started looking at how we could play with the tool within a municipal context. And then for the second session, the municipal workers came back and they brought their real world challenges. And what we heard was, minutes take forever, over and over and over. We also heard things like, we want to keep in more communication with our residents and be more transparent, but we just can't keep up with it with everything else and all the paper pushing that's going on. We heard things like, look, I have 57 applications, and so I'm sorting through 57 different applications in paper just to get one project done. And so we looked at ways of like, is there a way to reduce those applications into like one, like more master application and streamline processes? But AI is no fun to talk about. It's no fun to talk about. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play just for a couple minutes to show you sort of how we think about the ways one can use AI. And we will pass around, and I think we
might have enough if other people want some, but 2 documents. One kind of lays out the workshops, and the second one is like a fun, dandy list of all the ways in which we've seen AI applied in the municipal workforce, keeping humans, again, at the center. So, okay. So as part of the first workshop, we go through like the different models of AI because there are multiple. But today we're just going to focus on our beautiful workhorse ChatGPT, which I'm sure everyone has seen in the news and maybe even played with. So as we were thinking through this today, we thought about going through some more like nuts and bolts administrative stuff. But then we thought it might be funny or fun to think about the BEST project.
Not funny.
Not funny, but it might be a good thought experiment and a way to show it. So I might start with something like, doesn't care if I can't spell, just so everyone knows, don't be stressed. Okay. Project in Hurley. So it's gonna think, gonna search the web, and I swear it's gonna get to a point where it will feel applicable to workflow. Okay, so first it's gonna tell us all about it, right? The size, the technical specs, the design. So just for my purpose, and you'll notice that these little bubbles here are all the citations. So there's, obviously always humans should, review and double check, but this is a newer feature of ChatGPT specifically. So if you're wondering where the information came from and you want to check it, you can. But then you can start doing some interesting things. Tell me the whole history of BEST with the town of Hurley, including dates and permits. And so now it's going to go through and it's going to build me a timeline. It's going to think a little bit. It's honestly, one downside is you get so used to speed that when it does this, it gets very frustrating. So now it's searching historical records, it's gathering data, it's searching for the town, searching the town website and town letters. It's checking the letter dates.
Really should come up with nothing, because the project's in town of Ulster.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Right, but the name Hurley has come up enough times that we'll see.
But it's describing the town of Ulster project.
Trust me, nothing,
Look, it did it, went to town of Ulster.
nothing makes me happier than when we can prove AI wrong. It happens so rarely, it's a true treat.
Well, no, it's looking at,
It is
it's town of
interesting.
Ulster, it's not
Yeah.
town of Hurley.
Right. We made a mistake.
So now here's a clean timeline with key dates. So it's telling me April 29th, application filed.
And it knows it's in the town of Ulster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. And it's gonna keep
Correct,
going
that's
down.
very interesting. The
So,
same address.
I mean, just even from like a sort of like something that we within our own business often struggle with is like, how do you keep track of all the balls, right? So this is a way to easily keep track of the balls, but so where the permits stand, what's required versus what's done. So it can give you a nice synopsis of that.
And it's not always correct, so that is a very good point. But
Yes.
we weren't correct in saying Hurley.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
Town of Hurley's role, everything Hurley has formally done. And it's gonna give us a one-page summary. So then, just thinking on a higher thought level, I then might say, Hurley does not want this. How can we defeat it? Okay, key leverage points. Yeah, public hearings, county state agencies, concrete actions. Participate, but this is honestly not, you do a crosstown coalition, a messaging strategy. And then it can give you a short timeline, like, okay, so let's look at the next 6 to 9 months. Let's look at how we can influence. But I might say this is not robust enough. I want a town-wide government, public strategy. So, it's thinking again.
Well, it's reading the phonics.
No, it's just.
I know, believe me, I know. And just so everyone knows, I have played around to see like if I go back and fix my fast typing, if it makes a difference, and it doesn't yet. So,
We started typing in high school and everything.
so you've got your mission, you've got your primary win, you've got, okay, this is go to the war room, your 8 work streams, 45 minutes. So this is like a real, like, you know, like this is, and then not to say like this is, you then print it and this would be your plan, but it's a jumping off point.
And you can then put that whole thing into like a Word document, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
And again, you can keep moving it forward though. So you might say like, give me examples of other communities who have dealt with a similar issue and how. Now I'm so conscious. Okay, how they was. And so now it's gonna search and find any kind of other communities that have been dealing with a similar issue.
Now, I noticed you didn't type in Best or Battery again there, so it knows that you're in,
Correct, yeah.
that you're in this
So
thought.
if you look over here on the right, how do I get it back? This little button here.
Yeah.
You're gonna see some of my embarrassing chat histories, like what should I make for dinner? But you'll see that you have your list of subjects. So right now at top, you can see we're in Best Project in Hurley, and so that holds the memory of our situation here. But you know, if I go back to, I didn't know how to find my ChatGPT password, so I ChatGPT how to find it. Okay.
That's a circle.
Yes, it is. So if you go down, it can give you some case studies, right? So, you know, Carmel Putnam, Staten Island, and I can tell you, like, look, this is what happened. Like, the town of Carmel passed a local ban or moratorium on lithium battery storage, effectively blocking the project, reported in news coverage of the best backlash in New York. Lesson, a town-level moratorium or pause development, giving time to build legal regulatory strategy, negotiate better standards. And so it's really just going to kind of like aggregate and distill information and shape it. So it's sort of like, if you think about it as like a block of clay, ask me, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Okay. You know, it's, and again, never takes the place, even if like, you know, I did chat about this before this meeting in preparation, and they were like, make sure you talk to the lawyer.
Right.
You know, like, I'm not a lawyer. But here are some ideas you might think about legally. So that's one example of how it can be a thought partner and a research partner. But then I want to do one other little fun thing, which is truly fun because from Google Drive. So what I have here are your meeting agendas and your meeting minutes, basically up through October 14th. And so what I'm gonna just do is select these, and I'm going to add.
And one thing about municipalities is all this information is public.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, it's really wonderful that we could access your information, so it just, you know.
And it's like the safest conditions for using ChatGPT, right? Like, you're never gonna wanna go in there for your social security number.
Yeah.
But like the majority of your information is public knowledge, then it's, you don't have to, there's like less of hesitation about what you put in. And our golden rule of thumb is like, if you approach AI and you're like, I'm not sure if I should bring this in, don't put it in. Okay, so I wanna say compare the agendas to their corresponding meeting minutes. Tell me what was addressed, what was outstanding, what is outstanding. And if we didn't get to some, you know, part of it, I just want you to know, is that every keyboard is different.
Oh,
you know?
that one could be an interesting
Didn't
experience.
get to something on the agenda. So it's uploading the documents, and so it just can become a great resource for compare contrast tools. So essentially, it's now looked at all the documents, and it's going to break it down to agenda versus meeting minutes. So I mean, you know, I think part of what we heard over and over from municipal workers, you know, municipal employees, was sort of like the drudgery or repetitiveness of certain tasks and the time that it took to complete them. that then took away from the time that they were able to use dedicating towards like more exciting ways to improve their communities, right, and be in contact with the residents. And so when we worked with this other municipality, we really looked at like, okay, how can we take these tasks and take something that might take you 3 or 4 hours, like transcribing meeting minutes, or taking the agenda, transcribing meeting minutes, and then making it, neat. How can we take it from, 4 hours to, 45 minutes? And so that's really our focus, is about like unlocking just like more space for people. So you could go through here and say like, okay, this is, actually, I know the results of the I know that so on August 12th, what you addressed, what's outstanding, and good job, everyone. You didn't skip anything on the agenda, but not so for August 26th, my friends. We addressed that, we outstanding, but you did not get to, oh, nope,
No skipped items.
no, you're bad.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
We're official,
Pretty
Jack.
good.
No, I know you are. Yeah, you did. You nailed it. You're right. But then in terms of like not reach or skipped, it then lists the follow-up items as I was thinking about.
Right.
And then October 14th, they were saying, you've only provided the agenda, no minutes yet. Anyway, so overall, and then it gives you like an overall trends, right? So of those 3 meetings, what was the overall trend? I don't know, we just kind of wanted to give you a preview of some of the ways you could use it. We will give you a handout.
We individually met with departments, that's so that we could work, so, this is the work you're actually doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that was, we found that to be very helpful, and actually, I ran into somebody the other day who was like, oh my God, this is so wonderful, So it's a tool, that's all it is, right?
Let me ask you a question. Okay.
Say it again.
And my question to you is, so this is ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's,
What's your part?
what's our part? Oh, well, our part is, yeah,
How to use ChatGPT?
yeah.
It's
And
not
not just ChatGPT, to how to use AI to actually, enable you to do the work that you really want to do. Part of it by making, these kind of tasks much easier and faster. So, and also, like Chelsea mentioned it in terms of a thought partner. Like if I have something that I'm struggling with and I want to know more about, then like, I don't know, I went down this thing about Mongolia. And, you could do it also with the website, but it was absolutely, I saw somebody riding a horse and I'm like, oh my God. And then I learned all about Mongolia.
Well, and I love it's like kind of an aggregated place too. So for an example of the best project, like being able to say like, give me a list of other communities who have faced the same problem. And,
Yes.
but so much of it is about building the muscle and the skill set among, turn my back is to you.
That's okay.
Among people, among the people doing the work so that it can help them. Because the truth is when AI is used poorly, you get poor results, period. I just know even for myself, scrolling through Facebook, every 2 posts I can tell is AI, and I just like, it's terrible, So it's about like how you get AI to support humans as opposed to AI just becoming the human,
Yeah, so essentially, that's a great question, appreciate that. So what, we put together a workshop to help municipalities.
So, for example, Ben, can you just put up the voucher? Show them the voucher. Just
We'll pass it
the face of the
down.
voucher. So I'm sure you know what a voucher is. So if I were to take a
A
voucher
voucher.
and scan every voucher, which we have to do anyway for our coding and would it be able to read that and put that into an Excel sheet?
Yes, it would. Yes, absolutely.
So I wouldn't have to input after that, I could just scan that, which I have to do anyway.
For that specific task, it might take pairing it with an automation. So an automation is like a connector, right? So it's like, but I think that there is, at the very least, it would reduce it down significantly. But at the most, we would have to talk to, we have a third person who works with us, St. Patrick, because they're like tech genius. He builds in automation, so it's things like, if this one action triggers another action and it populates a spreadsheet. So that would just be like another little step and something we could explore because something like that, it, is definitely possible.
This is a spreadsheet already?
This is a spreadsheet that our
Generated.
bookkeeper just made to
Right,
assist me in my budgeting purposes.
okay.
But all the vouchers are supposed to be scanned and they go onto our website for
Oh,
transparency.
I see,
So
okay.
we're scanning them anyway, so if I scan them and send them to my bookkeeper, our bookkeeper.
Yeah.
And then it was able to read those vouchers. Let's say it's a specific type of voucher that we create.
Mhm.
It's able to read the voucher, each voucher the same every time.
Mhm.
It takes on the codings based on the numbers, the, whatever field it is in the
Yeah.
Okay,
voucher.
yeah.
This is not an Excel.
So at bare minimum, with no,
This comes from inside programs, data.
It's a spreadsheet.
But it's so,
So-
It's a
I mean,
spreadsheet.
you could, like, just on a very simple level, create a CSV file, some of information, right? And then have that data in a different format
Correct.
that you could move to someone, like, if you have an email account.
QuickBooks or anything.
Yeah.
at bare minimum though, what you could do, which would save probably a bunch of time, is you would just upload a picture or like snap a picture that it rates to AI. And you could do bulk, like batches of them, and then you would just say something simple like, format this so it's ready for my spreadsheet, here's my spreadsheet's format. So then instead of doing like each individual one, you could then just like copy a whole row of them and paste it in, and it's already formatted to that spreadsheet.
That's something.
Yeah, so that would be the bare minimum, but then if you get automation involved, then it really, that's when the magic wand really comes out.
I have a question to ask.
Yeah.
How much?
Well, I like your question.
So essentially, it's a, as I mentioned, it's a 2 workshop format. So the first,
No, go ahead.
the first workshop is about like an overview and really starting to get our hands dirty. And then there's a 2 to 3 week in between. We can work with whatever timing. And then we come back together and everyone brings department specific problems. And we spend that time to do like surveys and giving, but the brass tacks is it's a 4-hour work, each 4-hour workshop is $2,500. And I think because of the size of your town, like, so when we did it at another town, it was much larger. It was sprawling, and so we had to break it up into
8 workshops, right? Yes.
Can we sign up for a pilot?
What?
The pilot,
Can we sign up for another pilot?
That's the pilot price, so you got the pilot price, yeah.
That's the pilot price.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to say that Marltown uses you.
That's right. That's who that was the last one we
They
did.
were pilot, okay?
They paid us
Yeah, one of those is fine.
Yeah,
a lot more than this. Just, well, I shouldn't even say that, should I?
no, you should say it. So, but what's kind of cool is like if you, and we'll pass this around, but so there's on page 2, there's this sort of like measurement of, so essentially participants move from having no skills to beginner or advanced, 100% just because they're confident, 25% not feel advanced. And I have to say, AI, in our opinion, is built for doers, right? So it's like the sense of like, for example, Michelle, who is the assistant to Rich, went from having never touched AI, and now she's using it to help generate social media posts, so that, from a road closure to an Easter egg hunt, and streamline how and then she's loading them into like a scheduled app. So she's like now feeling like she's communicating more regularly. And if anyone follows Marltown, you'll notice there's a lot more communication coming out of their social media because of it. And Rich has used it to write a resolution. So a lot of it is like us training you how to train it to help you. So it's like, let's train it on your job, how you do your job. Things like, this is the structure of how I write a resolution. So instead of taking 2 hours, or I don't know how long it takes you, like, but like Rich said, 2 hours to write a resolution.
Depends on
You know, depends on the resolution.
It's all thumbs, that's why.
And now it takes them, 25 minutes.
I just want to say something. I spoke to Rich about this, and
Yeah.
he sings your praises.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
we sat down, we talked about it at the supervisors meeting.
Right, which was wonderful that we got to go to the supervisor's meeting, yeah. Yeah, so that's, we're just taking it on the road, and, we reduced the price significantly from the first round, just so you know. And we reduced the time because we realized we had split it up into departments. So we had, I can't.
It was essentially like, they logically grouped departments, and Rich made the decision, which I think was wonderful, to include the volunteer committee. So like
Yeah.
historic preservation got so much out of it.
Yes.
Just in terms of like research tools and reports that they were creating, and because anyone who's ever done any kind of like historic research knows it can take forever.
You still have to pay for ChatGPT.
You do, yeah, I mean, no, actually, that's not true.
I mean, depending on how well.
You can hit a limit, if you're willing to hit limits, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we don't recommend a blanket, what we recommended to Marbletown was essentially let people take, like, do the workshop. Some people will only need the free account, they don't need the limits. But then there were certain key people in Marbletown that were using it so heavily for their job, and then Rich greenlit I think it's $30 a month for, like, to not hit limits.
And for what you're getting, I mean, it's just mind
And there's
blowing.
other, I mean, like, this is all part of the workshop, but in terms of, you know, correcting images, and if you need like a simple graphic, like, you know, an Easter egg.
Do it for you.
Hmm?
It doesn't do it for you then.
Well, it does, what do you mean?
It told me how to do something I already knew how to do, and it wouldn't do it for me. But we do have, Copilot inside of Microsoft Office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we also have Gemini,
Gemini.
Yep,
you know,
good.
that town's already paying.
Oh, well, we also use Gemini.
It
It's like, we
doesn't
just
really matter what
chat,
the
yeah.
tool is, honestly.
So just saying, we have those tools already.
That's good.
So if you already have Gemini, maybe then the focus is on Gemini, because no matter what, whatever the AI is, like, it's still about knowing how to use it and the quality of your prompts to get what you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's really about the prompting, which, you know, I come from a background of technical writing from, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter what I have, but like, it's really about how people find information and what the question is that you ask. It's kind of like, we can help anticipate how you ask that question. You should garbage in, garbage out, you know, it's like, that's AI I think in a nutshell, is that however much how you couch the prompt is really, really important.
And also, I think that because of the pilot, we have found some like best practices around some like typical municipal, like, you know, specific duties or activities, yeah.
Actually, how many workshops have you done with Marbletown?
8.
At 2,500?
Mm,
We have to go back and look at numbers.
yeah.
It's all public record.
Yeah, well, that's what John said, yeah. But
But I don't know.
it's not part of my public record. because I
I
can't-
just gotta say with ChatGPT, I teach college.
Yeah,
And I don't give tests, I give research papers out.
okay.
And ChatGPT says to my students, says, would you like an A paper, a B paper, a
Oh,
C paper?
interesting.
Like that.
I'm also a professor, I teach writing and, yeah, no, it's a problem with education. It's not an easy thing, but it's here, it's not going anywhere, and it's a very helpful tool. It's like if we decided we were gonna use pens or sewing machines, or, you know, it's here. So, and, oh, thank you.
I think, you know, when Patty and I have taught classes together, and one thing that we found really effective in terms of AI in the classroom personally was like, on day one, creating a policy with the students. It's
Yeah.
not, this is yours, it's like a big philosophical conversation, like, are there things you believe it should be used for, are there things you shouldn't? And like, by the end, building that kind of consensus from like a more like democratic point of view. And also, if you're gonna use it and you can figure it out, you're using it badly.
Right. Well, in some ways, it is an equalizer, it is an equalizer for people to get access to information.
We had a student that was struggling, we couldn't figure out why he was struggling. Just sitting in the back, was not participating, and finally, like on day 2, we were like, dude, what's up, like, what's going on? And he was like, I'm Dutch, I can speak English, I can't read it. So we went home, within 20 minutes, we had converted the entire curriculum into Dutch. And we went from having a student that was like a wallflower, not engaged, to like in it, you know? All right,
Thank you.
thank you so much. I could talk for hours. Okay.
Thank you so much. I would like to stay for the next
What's yours?
presentation, is that okay?
Chelsea's is yours.
Oh, it is. And everyone has copies.
Back here, but not sorry. So we're here.
Oh, you know what?
Next presentation is Greenway. Before we, get into that,
Yes.
I just wanted, we got a letter from, New York State Department of DEC. We have received a $61,409 grant under the Municipal Food Scraps Recycling Grant Program that, Shabazz and Josephine have, applied for us. In other words, it's a matching grant, we have to put in 22,006, 27, 25. Got a question to ask you, that's in-kind services, right?
No.
Yes,
Some of it is in kind, some of it is, money that is taken in by the transfer station. Right, so when you think about it, the transfer station, takes in about $325,000 a year. It spends about $100,000 a year. So about $220,000 goes into the general fund from the transfer station.
Well,
So,
but you also have a transfer. You have to also figure out, salaries also.
Yeah,
well, the salaries are not part of the income from the transfer station. So how you use the difference, right, the net from the transfer station, you can use those to pay salaries. But if no one used the transfer station and you still had a staff, you still have to pay the salaries. So the salaries technically come out of your general fund, and then they're reimbursed from the fees at the transfer station. So as we think about it from a accounting point of view, what we have said, and the reason why we got this grant is that we're going to use the income from the fees at the transfer station, whether it's a tipping fee, a disposal fee, or it's a like a pass, a ticket, to as our match for the grant. And what that does is it makes it straightforward when we do the accounting. And then internally, you can use the difference, the net, any way you want. You know, if you want to use it for police overtime, you could use it for that. If you want to use it for salaries, but it's not accounting wise. The salaries come out of the tax dollars. You know, so now as we look at our ability to get grants for projects in the future, what we have is we have a system that when we make the case for it, the Town of Hurley resident pays $20. A Woodstocker pays $90, right? So now, when we make the case, we have a bigger service area. So the programs, and this grant is a good example. The programs service the people who have tickets for the transfer station, which is in 5 communities outside of Hurley. So that funding that they pay, the additional fee, comes into Hurley and is used as a match. So as we look at the larger grants that are available, and we have been called in by towns that have gotten $500,000 grants through Climate Smart to solve some of their problems. You know, what we have is a foundation for that has already been accepted for a match that doesn't draw on directly, doesn't draw on the Town of Hurley tax dollar.
All right, so my So the question I have also to ask you is, our transfer station employees, they're busy doing other things that they probably can't go and work in that aspect of it, because we have only, right now at this point, 3 employees there that must deal with the trash more or less. Does that mean we're gonna have to hire more people to work with composting?
No, we have a piece of equipment, but, zero waste doesn't increase the amount of material. It just makes some of it go over here, right? And because when you think about the logistics of doing that, the 90% of the work is done by the person who generates the material. And when they come into the transfer station, they put their cans and bottles here, they put their paper here, they're gonna be able to put their organics over there. And then the educational component, Josephine and I are gonna do. Right, so Josephine's gonna talk about our contract and, the next phase of our contract. So, and then all of that part of it, which has to do with now, really, we kind of foresaw the grant, and all of the scope of work for the grant is written into our contract. So we are going to do that part ourselves. The same way we've been doing the first part of our contract. We do everything ourselves.
So, I'm Josephine, you guys already guessed that. So the part 1 of the contract, we have completed that, and that's fine. I just wanted to tell you that we reviewed the transfer station operations, and the team was, really worked closely with us. We had many visits up there, as you guys can attest to. We conducted the community solid waste audit. And what we learned was that when people separate that food waste out of their garbage, they are recovering 85 to 90% of their waste, recovering like their cardboard, their cans and bottles, and of course, separating their food waste. What we learned also in the audit is that when people don't do that, they only recover 24% of their waste. So it was kind of a pretty big eye opener for, I think, the people who participated. And the grant was written and approved, and Mike handed me tonight, I think you may have just gotten this today, that we have to do a pre-execution step. So we need to get together and make sure, because there's pieces of this that involve both of us for insurance and all the reports.
We have a deadline.
October 31st. So we will definitely, you and I will sit down and get this found out. Once that goes back to them, back to the state, they will issue the initial contract, which the attorney will review. And we have 90 days to get that fully executed. So once they get that contract to us or to you, the clock really starts ticking. And at the end of 90 days, we then begin our work, and we have to report, Greenway will have to report, and with you, to the state of form every 90 days, letting them know the progress. It's a performance grant, which means there are specific measurements that have to be met. So the scope of work of the second part of it is to set up the transfer station to collect and ship. We have set a limit of 100 tons per year of food waste. So it's separated out, and never know, down the road, maybe Hurley will want to have their own fully functioning composting system, but for this grant, it is written up that it's going to ship out. Part 2 is we're building 3 community compost collection locations that most of the folks
In Hurley?
Right, that's those, like what you saw down
Yeah,
in New Paltz, where
Where are those gonna be?
Well, they can be,
we have to determine that.
because of the nature of the grant, they can be in areas outside of it.
Oh, okay.
True, yeah, yeah.
Right, so, you know, part of what made this a winning grant is that the transfer station services 5 communities that are listed in the grant. So, the grant will pay for, 3 of those. And, you know, what they'll actually be will be determined by the location. So we have basically 2 options. One is the, collection and transfer that you might see in a number of other places. We have one going now for, say, the town of Poughkeepsie is one of ours. So, and then the other one is the community composter that you saw down in New Paltz at the Reformed Church.
Then we're gonna, part of the grant too, and this will be a measurement that has to be met, is we're gonna set up 100 backyard composters. And, we know from the numbers that we're able to crank out on what their weights were and all that, that you're able to isolate, about a ton per family of food waste a year, which when you start to look at, you know, spreading that just to all the backyards, we're gonna conduct what Shabazz was saying, the compost training sessions. We'll do them in various locations and obviously up at the transfer station where people are gonna be coming up to drop off their material. And the final thing will be to set up, and that will be part of the contract with the state, a measuring system that they agree, like this is viable, we can depend on this giving good results. So, I mean, we have ways we have reported, I report every year to the state for about 15, 20 clients. So it's a format that we're pretty familiar with and they accept. So I don't know if there's any questions. Oh, I did want to also say congratulations to Kristen. She's a community treasure. I'm involved in a lot of things that she does throughout the whole county, really. So I just wanted to mention that because,
Thank you.
yeah, you're
She is a
welcome.
treasure.
Yeah, she is a treasure, right? Yeah. So I don't know if there's any questions. Ask Shabazz.
So you and I were up there, we talked about some questions.
Yeah, so the 3 locations outside of the town, inside the town, who pays for that?
That's
This
in
is
the
paid
grant.
for through the grant.
What about the 100 backyard containers?
That's in the grant.
So anybody that wants to come up that wants a container can get it through the grant and no charge for that individual's backyard.
Correct. Right. And it gets installed. The installation is in the grant. We built it in such a way that these ones that we did them. Shabazz and I would go to the houses and do them. And the way we built it into the grant this way is we can bring on maybe a landscaper company
Right.
who would get paid to do that. So it kind of spreads a little bit of work around too. So,
Then the PR to get it out to the public, that's also something y'all will be doing,
that's in the grant.
working with the town.
Yes, oh yeah.
So my biggest thing is what Mike was bringing up, is we were at the transfer station for about 6 hours on Saturday. And some of specifically the location that you're looking to do, the teaching and the composting, based on the traffic flow, I really have a hard time thinking that's a great spot. So I would like to recommend, with the board's approval, the highway garage next to the trailer. We can open up the fence so that there can be access, people come down, they can go in, you have ample room to teach, ample room to spread your compost, to do what you need to do, and then you can also leave out that way as well. There was, at some times, there's between 8 to 10, 15 cars, sometimes they're back out on the road. So that egress to come in, I believe, would be a problem. Only other potential way we could do it is open up the back gate to come in off of whatever that road is.
Collier Road.
Collier Road.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was possible. Well, can we walk it with you?
Let's walk it.
Yeah, Yeah, we're not,
And look at everything.
Yeah, for
We're
me, it's a
open.
safety issue more than anything, and I would also like to give you more space to actually, to do what you wanna do, to really open it up. Maybe have multiple,
John, you use the park also?
so,
no, that was very
I
quick.
said, rather than take this side of this issue, I think we
And
should
we'll
walk.
go out
you're scared,
walking.
you're scared to deal with shoulders.
Can we use the compost?
Well, over
Oh.
time, we could definitely do that.
Use a what?
So,
The compost for the fields.
so John, we'll
Yeah,
set up an
let's set it,
email
yeah.
and let's pick a time, and Mike, obviously you wanna
Yes.
be there too. So, yeah, I think that's fine, right? Yeah. That'd be
John,
great.
you have,
Because I know you guys wanted to access some of the storage shed that was currently up there. We have a lot of our recyclables and things of that nature. I just don't see us being able to put that anywhere else in order to accommodate you all.
Here's the thing, it doesn't make any difference to us.
Right.
So wherever it could work, it'll work there.
I'm just thinking for safety purposes.
Okay,
so John, just give me your times.
Yeah, we'll sit down and,
yeah, we'll email.
I understand the highway department is still somehow using something of that.
so they have their snowplow blades and things of that nature.
It can be moved.
That area that I'm referring to is,
Yeah.
they can be a little more organized and have that space open.
So we should include Mike Schultz in the conversation
I
as
would
we,
say not at this moment.
okay, I was just trying to be
We'll tell them.
correct, okay. All right. I think I'm done. Thank you.
Josephine.
Thank you, Shabazz. So let's get together sometime next week, fill us that, fill us that, that's it.
Yeah, we gotta hit it, we gotta get
We
this.
gotta do like next week.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll call the office?
I'm gonna email it, I'll email you. What?
Once
I
in a
said,
while.
what's wrong with this week? It's only Tuesday.
Yeah, you gotta deal with her all the time.
Yeah, well,
She's out of vacation, she's ready to go.
Oh, she's rare, let me see.
We're gonna be up here Thursday.
Well, no, what I wanna do is also, I wanna have Gregory involved, he's a point person with this, right now he's not feeling it, he's just feeling it. Yeah, so let me just give Greg a call, see what's a good day for him, and then we'll come up together with John also,
Okay.
and we'll walk and we'll fill out the rest of it.
Well, I'd like to-
Friday's real estate.
I'd like to figure out the location because we're getting ready for the building inspector and the DEC. So we can do that separately.
So this indicates anything you have to deal with the DDEC at that point, because there's no more Superfund situation, you're over on, in an area where it's.
Still part of the outside.
It is.
No.
Because
I think we should give Colin, the courtesy.
because that's his.
I mean, we definitely have to follow up with it, but.
Yeah, I have the
But
map.
it's not, like, literally on the curb of the transportation.
It is.
But it's still on the same site.
I think you'll have a little easier approval.
I agree.
Well, you know, the entire garage is built on the land
For the backside,
the backside, is it right?
and that's up there in the front. So we'll see.
All right, so let's,
So Thursday we are up here.
But like you said, Gregory should be involved in this.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
you don't know what-
let me ask you, Gregory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna send you guys those dates that are there.
okay.
Friday was there.
Every Friday's okay, every Friday?
No, just this Friday, I have it.
I think for Greg, Friday is good.
This Friday, unless it's only Shabazz.
No, we can make it the following Friday.
Okay, that's good, the 24th is good,
Oh,
and the 31st is good.
That conference,
This one's
what do you
Wednesday.
say? 24th is fine.
I have home.
Just walk around, I'm gonna see if any of these other sites are high.
You don't have a lot of time.
Is it 24th?
You have
Two
2
weeks.
weeks.
Conference, that's from the 24th,
You have 2
25th, we
weeks.
just talked about.
You wanna do it this Thursday? You gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like around 4 o'clock or something.
That's better because, Peter, is your upgrade.
That would be good for us.
Either 3 o'clock.
You think you could do Thursday? Yes.
I
Around
think 4 o'clock's cut, because we have a meeting here. I would say.
4:30, we're fine, we are actually gonna be up in this
It
series.
takes,
You wanna do 4:30?
it takes 15 minutes to get to this.
4:30, okay,
4:30, Thursday?
and you're gonna get with Greg.
Yeah, I'll talk to Greg. I don't know if he'll he can be there, but, we'll talk to him.
When's it get dark?
Once it get dark.
That's-
Sunset's about 6:20.
No,
Oh,
no,
6:30.
Okay, Because maybe we give him to 5, I'm saying, that's what I was just saying, if he has to come up late, you know, and we push it to 5, yes.
So that's 10, 16, 25. All right, so let's, Josephine, give me a call tomorrow,
I will,
and we'll set this thing up. Maybe you'll come a little earlier so we can fill this out before the walk.
okay,
Okay. All right, thank you.
welcome.
All right, any further questions from the board?
6:13 on Thursday, what's that, that's sunset.
Phones are incredible.
Because I know it was like 6, like a little after 6.
It just seems like it's creeping up on me.
Yeah, but wait till they turn the clock back.
Yeah, when the clock's changing, you'll remember.
Right, 2 weeks, you're gonna turn the clocks back to the beat.
Yeah, we're close to the.
Then it gets, then it becomes one day less of winter.
Yes, it does.
That's right.
Hey, guys, thank you.
Seeing you.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, since we're talking about the transfer station, Daniel, you want?
Should I go up there?
Sure. Camera will record you better.
Good evening, council members. My name is Daniel. I've worked for the transfer station for almost 6 years now. And I'm here today to talk about the need to hire a part-time employee to replace a former staff member. For the past 1.5 months, there's only been us 3, and there used to be 4. This has placed a lot of significant strain on us due to the increased workload, and it's become increasingly difficult to continue providing the level of service and attentiveness that our customers are used to. And additionally, with fewer staff on site, it's harder to ensure proper coverage for employee lunch, bathroom breaks, and water breaks, and also taking our PTO, or responding quickly in an event of an emergency. And frankly, just having 2 people on duty at times doesn't feel adequate, more safe for operating the transfer station effectively. Hiring a part-time employee, especially for our busiest days, would go a long way and will relieve the stress and addressing safety concerns and keeping the transfer station running smoothly and efficiently. Thank you for your time and consideration.
What are your busy days?
Mostly on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Like this week, it'll be on a Wednesday because on the holiday. Yeah. Usually it'll be like double the workload because of the holiday.
You know, John and I went up there this Saturday, and what we decided is that you have Gabriel in the shed, and what we want to do basically maybe get that shed by the dumpsters, that little shed there, and make that a little larger, so Gabriel can be there instead of at the shed. So I know like your father goes, when people come and pay, your father goes into the little shed and takes the coupons and all that. So if we have Gabriel down below, instead of like, in other words, if they're gonna buy coupons, they go to Gabriel. If they wanna submit their coupons, they can go to your father, or down at the bottom there.
Yeah, that's true, but the workload is still there. Not every customer is bringing a 5-pound garbage bag. They're bringing, I want you to think of it like this, a carload.
Yeah.
A week load of garbage every single week. And not just 1 or 2 people, it's families. So, just us 2 whenever we need a break. And so it's just a 2 service. And it's not ideal.
I would also point out that they need to sometimes monitor what people are putting in that they think is recycling and is really garbage. Because that's once that line gets contaminated, then UGRA has a problem with it.
Yeah, they would do a fee for that.
Right, they charge us money instead of it being the other way
Well,
around.
there's a few things that happen at the transition. We don't charge for recycling. Aqua charges us for recycling. In other words, they charge us $95 for rental of the bin for recycling, plus they charge us $135 each pull. Now, there's no tipping fees at all with the recycling.
Right, just our $20, when we purchase a ticket, a tab, I would hope that that's covering some of that.
It does. You have numbers about people out of town and people in town buying the permits, and you got something like what's half and half out of towners and half in towners.
It was mostly more in town than there is out of town.
Approximately 1,004 people in town and 400 out of town.
That's the current
numbers.
1,000 is 20,000 and then 36,000. You're gonna have to raise your hand.
the other thing is, we need to hire another person because, if nobody's standing by the recycling,
Right.
public just tend to throw whatever
Just throw it in the end.
goes in there. There's a lot of stuff that like clamshells. I've been there, I took over in 2020, and since then, I still see a lot of trash there. So I used to have a garbage can there, they fill it up, but they just don't take all the stuff, they just throw everything in there. So it's up to the attendants to stay there and take all this out.
One of the things that happens is that, if the recycling is contaminated
Right.
with things that shouldn't be in there, what ARPA does, they count the whole trash, and we get charged for it. They put it on the scale and they weigh it, and we get charged for that. Now, I feel it's necessary to have someone monitoring that, like you said.
So the other thing is, I don't see the bills anymore. So it's up to you guys, if we're getting extra fees on the
That's me.
phones.
I watch everything.
Yeah, but because I don't see it, so
Yeah,
there's
well,
no way.
we watch it and then we compare it with the fees that are coming in, so if there's any questions, we'll call you, but we haven't
But
seen any questions.
is there any extra charge that the charging?
We haven't seen any, no. We did notice that we're being charged for an extra bin, which we didn't realize. So we brought that to Mike's attention, but other than that, I am analyzing every bill that comes in this building, all me.
There's another thing, one of the drivers, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were telling me that if we we put too much garbage over the line, if it's not level, they won't take that.
Right, they want us to empty it, I know.
So they would charge for the full, even if they don't take it.
I haven't seen that.
So we need to check on that.
Right, but you have to understand that I'm one person doing
Yeah,
all the
like-
bills for the entire town.
Yeah,
So,
what I'm saying is, if you guys let me see the bills, I'd be able to tell, you know?
right, yeah, we can try that, we definitely can. It all depends on the timing of the bill and when they have to be paid, because again, it's just me. So if we can figure out a way to get it scanned to you or emailed to Daniel, then we can definitely do that.
All the vouchers still
You
should
could do that.
have been, should be scanned every month if they're not.
That doesn't happen until after everybody signs them.
So
Yeah,
then,
you
so you
still
spent
know.
1 month behind.
He doesn't care if it's not.
Yeah, he wants to see.
Perfect, he just wants to see it.
So when they come in, Stephanie should make a
But
comment
that's-
and if there's something.
Right. But you have to understand, that's more responsibility on me.
No, I'm not talking about you.
Stephanie please take her out of the equation. It is truly me. So yes, if we can come up with a system that will work, but right now, we have to figure out a way to do it.
All right, okay,
This is a discussion we should have later.
all right. You know what you can do, when you get me the bills, I mean, I get the bills, and I'll just, make.
I can do it, it's just, again, there is only one person doing.
No, I'm saying, no, good, I'm gonna, you give me all the.
Right, but I have to remember to get the bill to you, to then get the bill back from you,
Right.
like, we
No,
have to
no,
come
no,
up with a
no,
better
What I
system.
can do basically is when you send me the vouchers that has a bill on it, I will copy it. And then, so, in other words, it's.
You don't have to really.
Yeah. You just get it to me with the vouchers, and I'll pull it out, and I'll get another copy and send it to Dave. All right?
I don't wanna get anybody in trouble, so we're here to talk about that we need an extra employee.
You know what it,
So, and I fully agree with everything that Daniel's saying, 100% to the T. However, I think there should be 2 part-time people. I think there should be 2 full-time and 2 part-time. That's my suggestion. I think you have a great team right here. Javier eventually is gonna retire in 3-4 years. I think you have a great component sitting next to him to take over. With Gabrielle, that can become full-time. For me, you're 100% correct. You need to be able to take off. You should have people there that you can counteract on days that it's busier, and in the summertime and seasonal, maybe there's more hours. It's hard to do that with a full-time person and 1 part-time person. If you have 2 part-time people, you can conduct your business the way it's, okay, so you're gonna work 8 hours on Wednesday and 8 hours on Saturday, and you're gonna work 8 hours on Thursday, the busy days during the summer. However that is, you can determine that. So that would be my recommendation. Y'all can do what you like, but based on the numbers that are coming in, based on tippings that are coming out, my numbers that I'm seeing, there's less garbage being pulled So there shouldn't be that much work more than what we're asking for as far as 2 people and 2 part-timers. With that being said, you know, there's also things that are be taken in that potentially we don't have to take in. We don't have to take tires, we don't have to take TVs, which are free. There's a lot of things that add more work for these gentlemen that potentially we can reduce for their workload so that they don't have to have multiple people up there. And it's safer. Because that means you have to have a person over here, here, and here, and here, and it's something, it's just impossible. Then you still have mulch, you still have all that, the brush. So, you know, I think that we can look at these numbers, and there is a revenue source. My revenue that I'm looking at is approximately about $21,000 will be in the black. But it's not about that. It's not about making money at the transfer station. It's never been, and it shouldn't be. It's producing a service, and the townspeople predominantly want their garbage and their recyclables taken. They don't necessarily want fluorescent bulbs and TVs and things of that nature. They can go to Aqua for that. We don't have to do that. I do believe we have to take garbage and recycle and brush. Those 3 things. And we do make money on them. So you know, there's a variable. What we don't take is what we take. We have to figure out mattresses, for example. They're a pain in the butt to get out of a truck. They got to storm over here. Then eventually they got to go inside the bin, and it's so it's a situation. So these are things we can think about and really look at. That's just my perception and how I would start with that.
Did we used to be open 8 o'clock on the nights? How did that happen?
We would go back and forth. So we would have times of the year in the summer we would be open later, and then we would reduce it when it got darker early. So our hours.
Yeah, I don't know all the time, but I know there was.
Yeah, it was a season. Basically,
Thursdays or something.
Yeah, I think it was when the clock changed pretty much, and we had
What about the before and after hours, Sean?
So before, I wasn't there after, so I couldn't determine that. But before, I had about 40 minutes to prep. There was a lot of work to do as far as getting the scales ready, organized from the day before. There was still some moving around of materials. So I can definitely see that the before and after, maybe we can figure out how we can condense that down and make that a little more, maybe a half hour or something. We open up for a longer hour, which then would allow more people to come in during that duration of time, which would reduce, traffic flow, because there's more time, means more people can come during instead of a 6 hour or 7 hour period. Things of that nature. So these are all things that I think we should really look at. I don't think we should jump the gun, but I definitely believe, for now, that if you want to hire somebody for Saturdays, that would, and luckily we're coming into a slower season up there. And I know in-house there is somebody that was interested in working, so potentially if you want to make that decision and draft that. The next biggest thing is, in order to get this organized and working correctly, there's a lot of infrastructure that has to be repaired up there. There's some dangerous stuff up there. There's like blacktopping, like Javier said. There's situations where the canopy is, I mean, that itself. The lines and the blacktopping for traffic control. So it doesn't matter if you have 10 people working up there or 2 people up there. There's still safety concerns based on just the infrastructure.
Let me ask you a question. The canopy up there, why? What's it for?
It's to cover. Well, I mean, I don't know. They would be better at.
That needs to be fixed because.
I know.
DC came when the first came to check this, to inspect that transfer station. They said that we can only have two of the bins for the garbage, but they had to be under cover. So
You have 2 under the cover without the canopy.
yeah, we used to have
The other one.
We used to have 3 spaces. One was not covered, so they told us definitely close that area. Don't use it anymore. They have to be covered. So that canopy needs to be fixed.
I agree. And it was actually, we had an engineer when I was here, and we were here, was.
Right, well, it was, the dense flash went up there, it just wants to take it down.
Yeah.
Said it's not safe.
I think we had it was like $18,000 to replace it or something. I forget the number. But that was pre-COVID.
In those days.
And then everything, when COVID happened,
Whoever they tell them.
which is another situation. We hired more based on COVID, and we haven't, kind of pulled back since then based on our employees. But I'll leave that to the board to decide. But I do believe that you at least one more person while we're trying to figure this all out.
What I'd like to do maybe is like, well, besides that, on Saturday, there is someone who wants to work up there for Saturday for the time being, so we get this thing a little organized.
2 days?
We need at least 2 days.
The only problem is he can't do a second day, the same person.
What's the second day, Friday?
Tuesday will be
Tuesday? Tuesday would be your next business, Tuesday, Saturday. So I mean, yeah, if you're gonna potentially hire the person that's in-house, you can adjust his weekly and put him up there on Tuesday and Saturday and offset his hours here or there, wherever.
We can do that.
How many hours a week are we talking about?
For the new employee, that'd be like 12 hours, which is 2 days. 6 hours, from
Is that
9
what-
to 3.
9 to 3.
Is that what was happening before?
With Kyle, he used to, well, first he started off with a couple of days, and then he asked for more time, and we needed to help. So then it got approved, and we went to basically almost full time. He went to 5 days for 6 hours from 9 to 3.
It's 31
He
hours.
was doing 31 hours.
31 hours, right, in between that.
Yeah, because I think the town board approved to hire another person, so instead of doing that, because he already know the job, so we give him a little bit more time.
So is 12 hours a week gonna be sufficient for now?
If that's what you guys agree with.
Tuesday and
yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah. What days? Tuesdays and Saturdays, yeah.
Wednesday and Saturday is a holiday.
Or Wednesdays and Saturdays. And also,
Saturday.
and also whenever we have a PTO or someone's taking a day off, it's covered.
Me too.
I agree with you, that needs to happen.
What's that?
We need a PTO.
They need to take days off.
Yeah.
That's why I think there should be more than one part-time.
And then that person would work more when their stays.
Absolutely, up to 30.
All right. Is everyone do 2 full-time, 2 part-time?
It's up to the town board to.
I know it's a question. We go there.
Well, that's our practice for now, and then.
2 days a week?
Are there there's 3 employees now?
Right.
So then they have one part-time.
Yeah, one more, 12 hours. See, here's the situation, it's gonna be a pay cut. After. Because you'll get 6 hours on Saturday. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you would.
I'm just saying it's because it's.
It's a different salary than a person working in at the town hall. That's all.
All right, so we're talking about right now, just one person, 12 hours, until we get this thing straightened out with 2 full-time and 2 part-time.
Yeah, that's up to the board. That was just my recommendation. That's the choose. I mean, I said a lot of things that we could potentially look at.
Maybe we'll change it.
And again, we need to add 12 hours.
We get changed.
I would say it will change by next year, but end of the year. Yeah.
Right, we'll just do it on Saturday.
We already got 3 full-times.
I know, but we're talking about having only 2 full-time and 1 part-time.
So
that's
2 part-time.
We're gonna be technically demoting someone. Then.
We have to discuss that, yeah.
On the table now.
Well, let's do this, my suggestion is let's do the 12 hours right now. And then we'll revisit back in January, see what goes on, see how that works out. Because the thing is though, that, we've looked at all the fees and all the tipping fees and so forth, and the amount of trash this year is a lot less than last year, which is a lot less than the year before. So in other words, what's happening basically is that the amount of of us paying out, it has decreased.
But you guys have also increased the prices too.
We've increased the prices.
That's what we
But
talked
this
about
year,
last year as well.
But there's no increase in, from Upper for, this, for 2025 or
We
2026.
lost a lot of customers from our towns because $90, nobody wants to pay $90.
And that's something that I told you guys about. Raising up the non-residents wouldn't really necessarily bring in the town money. It would just scare them off. And so that was plan of a budget to bring in money, and it didn't work.
Well, here's the thing, the idea of the transfer station has to break even. We
We're
can't
not
make,
trying to make money.
we can't make money, we can't make this a money-making thing. We have to break even, as it is right now, as it is right now.
1,000.
Well, we have 21,000 right now, but that doesn't include the 14,000 that we, did the shed.
Right.
So in other words, we took the $14,000 out. In reality, this year, the difference is $7,000.
That will come from the general fund though.
Yeah.
Not from the transfer station budget.
It would come in transition budget.
But when that transportation was made back in the 90s, it was only made with, they had to break even. You couldn't charge taxpayers who already paid to have their garbage picked up, also then compensate the landfill, and you got people that are not employed residents using it. So you can't use taxpayer general fund, you have to be self-sufficient up there. Everything that you bring in has to cover all the expenses up there. That's what he's talking about.
Okay,
You
but
know, there's also, John, one reason why this year's lower, I guess what Daniel said it, there's less out of towners. I'm sorry, what? There's less out of towners coming because of the seat fee.
Because of $90.
I'm okay with that.
Are you taking how much?
Yeah, but instead,
The second comment.
instead of raising requirements, maybe we should adjust,
Reduce it to 50.
There's no issue with the revenue base, there's no issue with what's coming in. It's what's going out, and what's going out is not as much waste that in the past 5 years that equated for having that many people working up there full-time, utilize that. I mean, you have to look at the fact that less bins are being pulled. So that means less garbage is being pulled. That means less work potentially is going on. However, I do believe you guys are taking in more other, like recycling, other things like that, where I think it's taken a lot more of your time away from, from those pulls. We don't make money on recycling. You do make money on the pulls based on scale, things of that nature, and cards. So we're making money to the point where we're breaking even and maybe having a little bit in the black. So that's not the problem. It's for us to continue having people working and there being less work to do, which I know you guys are saying there's more. And it's absolutely, you're right, because there's only 3 of you. So if you can't take a day off, because me personally, not even on the little slowest day of the week, should there only be 2 of you up there. That is unsafe. I do not believe that should happen. So how do you take a day off? So if you have 1 part-timer up there and you have 3 full-timers, now what if it's a family, situation? 1 part-timer is not going to be able to accommodate that. So I'm just trying to come up with solutions so that we don't have any issues further either. And that's really what it's come down to. It's not about the revenues. You guys are doing great. You're making money. I get it. But what's coming out of the transfer station is not the numbers that were the same 5, 4, 3, 2, even last year. So.
But you're also not able to measure things like recycling or any cardboard boxes or how much is gone. St. Paul's you get some money for, there's tires.
Oh, we can measure that. We see the polls.
Right, we see the polls.
Sure.
Do we have all the polls for that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we can track
Yeah, it's a
everything.
different line too.
I can tell you how much for St. Pauli's, I can tell you how much for A1 bottles.
So, but I'm just
I can
saying,
tell
there's a
you
lot of
And
other
we do
stuff.
make money on those, by the way.
And we make money from metal and, there's a lot of different things
The
going on.
other thing is, we're taking garbage from the town, from the park, from the highway. They bring a lot of stuff.
Right.
We got a list of.
But then that would add to the bins. So but the bins aren't
Yeah, but that's
increasing.
not money coming into the transfer station.
It's not what's coming in. That's not a problem. It's what's going out. There's less going out to equate for the amount of people to be working up there. You guys are bringing in the revenues. That's not a problem. So even if we're putting more from the park, more from the highway, more from the town hall into the bins, it's still not equating to the amount that we were pulling last year, the year before that. So it cost us almost $333,000 in 2020. It's gonna cost us about $90,000 to make those pulls this year. So there's almost $200,000 less garbage coming into the town. And the tipping fees have gone up. So it's still costing us more for those tipping fees than it was 5 years ago. So those are the numbers that I'm talking about, not what's coming in. You guys are doing great with that. And like I said, maybe one of the things we need to do is take in less stuff. You know what I mean, as far as like TVs and such. Because that is time consuming, and it takes you away from your posts. And I don't know, but these are conversations that we should all have. And by the way, this didn't happen 5 years ago. We never had conversation with the transfer station, and I want you to think about it for the last 2 years. When was the last time you guys went up and had a conversation with them? Anybody? Anybody. So for them to come down and say that this is an issue, I applaud them, and I think this is what needs to happen in good communication. So I appreciate you guys coming down, and I would like to see more communication. So I don't think we should react. I think we should do the part-time person, and I think we should sit down. I can give you numbers. We can equate. We should really wait for Greg also.
Yeah.
To make those decisions.
All right, so my suggestion right now is that for Tuesdays and Saturdays, send over, you have another person there.
Have somebody that will do that. You're assuming you will, we don't know that yet.
Assumption is that, well, he'll do Saturdays, but that's what we talked about. We didn't talk about Tuesday. Let me talk to him about Tuesday. We can reschedule his workdays, in a sense, where
Yeah, of course.
he works 4 hours a day.
It should be reduced anyway. We're going into a slower season.
Yes.
So,
Guaranteed 20, maximum 20.
That's
Maximum 20, which he uses.
right.
All right, so let me talk to him, and, I'll see him tomorrow, and, we'll probably start Saturday with him. It's okay with him? And then, we need a resolution to,
you have to have a resolution.
Yeah, there's a resolution in there about it.
Where's
This
the
last week, got a part-timer.
Please make sure that the pay is in there. I need another person, I don't got it. I can't take it off, I take my laptop with me.
Who's the last week's pay?
Huh?
Do you have the resolution?
I don't have the pay last week. I was here Saturday.
You're looking for the resolution?
From last month, rather?
2 weeks.
If I have.
I just need a pay.
But it would have a particular person's name on it.
You guys want to say what?
There was a resolution that was not passed, but had somebody else's name.
This table and then,
But we're supposed to do executive session today.
It's right here.
We're supposed to do executive session.
Yeah,
We have a
if you're gonna discuss individuals,
You just have to amend it to change the name.
Talked about.
Well, we have this one, we have this resolution, you can just
So
take
I
the
just
name.
make a
I would
resolution
just-
to hire someone.
yes, for 6 hours a week
exactly.
at whatever
That's
the
all
rate will come from.
Yeah, the rate is in here.
The rate's in
That's the
there?
rate,
Yeah,
1734,
All right.
yeah.
Two different meetings on there.
We're gonna amend that.
Oh, we did that. Around here.
And I think that the plan.
Then we try to figure out how to do our job out.
Oh, that was 17, no, this 17.
Oh.
No, maybe 17, 2%. So you want to, go with this resolution?
Well,
You do recommend it.
So you would be removing the third whereas clause and basically hereby
Change the
hires
Transfer.
part-time transfer. Yeah.
I gotta read that.
Take it all.
You edit that while you're working on it?
No.
Why don't you just print the page out and we'll write it?
This thing is a not to printer.
That was done yesterday or last month.
What day was that? When was that?
This was the last meeting. This was the,
Can we print it out?
September 30th meeting. It's in somebody's packet somewhere.
Yeah, why don't you just move
I can't
on,
print
we'll
off
come
here.
back to this at the end.
No, we'll come back.
All right, we'll come back to this. What day was that?
Whatever our last meeting was, September 30th. Yeah, it was the one we pushed back a week because of Rosh Hashanah.
I have that resolution in my office.
Yes, September 30th.
All right, so we'll have this resolution, you guys want to talk about this on the resolution? You have it?
I have it.
Just go to the check, go to the top 5 there. So see, it should be your top 5 right here. Maybe,
All right, so we have the resolution that's
sent to you separately.
And then that,
Just read it out loud and then
should I read the whole thing?
yeah.
Yes, you have it.
Yeah. Resolution to hire a part-time transfer station attendant. Whereas Kyle Kenny has resigned from his position as part-time transfer station attendant, and whereas the town of Curly has determined that there is a need for additional staffing in the transfer station. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Curly will hire a part-time transfer station attendant for a maximum of 16 hours or 12 hours per week at a rate of $17.34 per hour to be paid from Fund Line A 8160.1.
Say again?
A
No,
81.
no.
Oh, you might want to leave it at 15 in case you have to cover somebody taking the day off.
Yeah.
Can't, no, they can't.
But it's covered if you more than 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what you said.
Right, but it's 12 hours, and then if you had to cover something, then you can have, because it's nothing that says it can only be 12. It says a maximum.
It says a maximum of 12 hours.
So why don't you make it a maximum of 15? Well, no, 15 wouldn't cover it either, I would say, 12 hours a week is 12, don't put maximum, just say 12 hours a week, and then you can always end up, yeah, if they were covering somebody else.
I make a motion to pass this resolution.
I'll say.
Second, discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right.
I just have one question. What was the issue with hiring a carpenter?
Is it 12 hours?
12 hours.
He's not aware. It wasn't put out that, when we got it that day, none of us even knew that it was, like, it hadn't been anywhere that it was that opened up to anybody else that had it. That was the issue.
Yeah.
Does it have to be, it could be anybody then, right?
Well, no, but
One of the
it
discussions
happens.
that Greg
we were told by Mike that the board was going to approve it. So we went and contacted him and told him that, and then it got stepped back. I'm not questioning whether you guys have questions, by all means, please do your due diligence, because I'm the one who's gonna have to do the work.
I would have to.
That's fine, we will move the meeting.
Move it to,
Yeah, I just didn't, I got an email.
problem.
Yeah, I just got an email, said it was scheduled, I didn't.
it doesn't matter, we can reschedule it.
That's fine. Tuesdays do not.
Tuesdays, no,
work.
no Tuesdays.
Right, this Tuesday.
We have union negotiations, we have, payroll. Tuesdays are back.
Okay. All right, so I'll talk to Samara tomorrow and we'll switch it to the.
Yeah, I already talked to her about it, and she said she didn't feel I needed to be there, and I said, okay.
I'd like to be there, you have questions?
Well, you might have input on their questions.
Okay. All right, the next thing is, credit card update for train station. Lynn?
Yeah. So we contacted, actually, Jeff put out a thing to the service he recommended, we didn't really hear much back on the structure that we wanted to do. We have contacted with, CSG Forte. They do a lot of stuff in New York. And we finished our negotiation. This is just, They do $1.2 billion in payment service revenue. So I know something about CSG and Forte. I met them when I was, a lot of municipalities use them. I met them when I was at the, Clerks Conference, along with other people. So this is the price and fee proposal that they've given us. It's a flat 3%. They will pay for our equipment. And, there are no fees to us whatsoever.
They will pay for our equipment?
Yeah.
What are you-
3% is on the consumer. Okay. There's no fee to town borough.
At
And
this point, right now, we pay it.
right now, we're paying, year to date, we paid actually, over at the bank statements,
This is 5,000.
we paid about over $4,000. 4,800 year to date.
Okay.
Okay, so, so I'm gonna guess about $6,000 a year is what we're paying, and this is just a burden onto the transfer station users. We have to pay in the past.
I did not pay.
Right, well, then that's.
The only thing you have to make sure there are certain legal compliance requirements where it has to be written, so notifying them that they are paying.
Right, so I left a contract on Matt's desk to take a look at, which I can also send you by email.
Yeah, no, there was something that wasn't on the agenda.
$10 cards, $1,000.
All right, so if you want to,
That's the minimum.
yeah, and that should be sent to everyone on the board.
What's the minimum fee for $1 per transaction? So if somebody charges $3.
Yeah.
I'm requiring that. Right now, it's costing $50. They charge $3. So if we want to charge $3, let that be on there. And then to pay the fee, not us. Right, so if you're $10 coupon, it'll cost you $10.30. Right, it's a food consumer, if they want to pay, then they can.
People that pay with-
Right, but what I'm saying is it two themselves.
People that pay for the taxes and such and credit cards and stuff, they also pay that fee. Most municipalities do not pay, always goes back to the, so.
What's your question?
No, the question was if they charge $3, what do they normally charge?
We are still at a minimum of $10, otherwise we'll be processing thousands pieces of paper.
Okay.
Because you can charge $1 and they're still only charging 2 cents.
But it says 3% flat fee
Here's the
Right.
thing.
with a minimum of $1 per transaction.
Minimum $1 charge. In other words, you can't charge less than $1.
Right, so in other words, if you go buy a
Okay.
$10.
No, it's a minimum fee.
Yeah.
So,
It's a minimum
so
fee.
regardless, so
That's what
like
I'm
it's a
asking.
$10 charge, it would be $11.
It's not gonna be 30,
It's not 30.
right too. Lynn,
What?
Lynn, it's gonna be, if it's a 3%, so if it's $10, it's 30 cents. It says you're a minimum of $1.
Right, so they're gonna pay $1, but they're gonna pay 10%.
We'll try to get rid of that. So my understanding was that they couldn't charge less than $1, but fees and charges.
So
I understand what you're
charging
saying.
$1 is different than paying,
Yes, I understand that.
and this is what I'm trying to explain to you, there's companies out there you can get like 2%.
We can't find a company that will take a flat fee of 2% and charge it to the consumer. We can find a company that will take a flat fee of 4% and charge it to the consumer and charge us $20 a month. We can find this, which was 3%, and I will re-verify that.
But then people
We
will
assume-
pay 10%.
Because sometimes the way it's worded is ambiguous. It was my understanding that it was, well, that's what we're saying.
No, I understand that. I'm just suggesting maybe there's.
Well, that's why, you know,
Someplace
now all
else
those
that-
stores, they're charging less for cash because everybody from the store are now.
Well,
pushing this
the
back on
agreement
them.
has been provided. Can you email it to everyone on the board so that it can be reviewed
Yes,
and addressed at the?
There's an opportunity for you to make, I'll send you the email that came with that. Because there's an opportunity to make it.
Can you send it to everybody on the board?
I sent it to Matt, I sent it to everybody else.
Okay, so we'll.
My understanding is that the minimum transaction has to be $1, not that it's the minimum fee is $1. But we can
Can you
clarify that.
Clarify that, right?
Sure.
Okay,
On each case, that's what we think is best.
okay. All right, the next thing is authorizing the issuance of a $9 million serial bond for the construction of new highway garage. We got the,
Well, I don't think it's any. No, but it's still nice to have.
see,
It's right here. It's right up. It's right after. It's on the back side of this.
Yeah.
We're already. More tight, it's on the back side. Back side of that.
okay. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go look through this thing here, so there's a whole bunch of sections here. This is for, basically, we look over and do this in on, the 28th.
Okay.
We have contracted with, Roman Wallens and Minot and Gold, such as John Minot, who's a bond, lawyer, and he's gonna take over, he's gonna be guiding us on this, $9 million bond. I want you to be aware, it's $9 million. It doesn't, it's $9 million worth of credit, the line of credit, for $9 million. We only pay interest on what we spend. And that, is that not what, the whole $9 million?
Minus line of credit.
All right, so let's look at this thing
Technically
here.
a bond.
That's why I wrote
No, it
that.
can't technically be a bond. You gotta clarify that, because if it's a bond, you pay interest on the entire amount.
It's not.
Yeah.
It says a serial bond.
I would just clarify.
Well, I think that, until you know how much you.
Yeah, you've spoken with,
Okay, that's not
Minot about
that's
that?
not what he's saying.
I
So
spoken
to
to,
the
I
average
have
person
spoken
reading
to
the
him
minutes, they're just
about
gonna see a
this.
$9 million bond. Yeah, I tell you as a taxpayer, that doesn't do it for me. That better be a really nice highway garage. I'm gonna pause it.
I didn't talk to John Minot about, clarification on this.
I can clarify.
Does it a maximum aggregate cost? Estimated to be.
Have to be careful where you work. Mm-hmm.
All right, let me talk to John Minot about the line of credit or a bond. It's gonna be less than that. No, it's gonna be less than that because we have $1.3 million. I'm saying.
It's still, it's.
No. We actually priced, we looked at garages down in Wilson and so forth.
So
And we
you're
saw-
not gonna get much less. The validity of the bonds authorized by this resolution and of any notes issued in anticipation. So really, I think what they're gonna do is do a bit more anticipation notes. So they won't actually be bonding the whole thing until they're the final amount.
Correct, so what happens is you do one section, wait for me to pay for that section.
Like building a house.
But you just have to make sure that that's specifically put in that wording in the minutes and in the resolution. Because the way you're saying it, it just sounds like it's a $9 million.
So who actually drafted this resolution?
John Minot.
Okay. All right.
This is John Minot drafted this resolution.
And is there any reason why this needs to be, approved at the agenda meeting or
No.
can it wait for the regular?
No, this is.
We just have to look it over.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
so we can look it over and then.
So let's review it.
For this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's not what the resolution said. The resolution says authorizing the issuance of $9 million.
Yeah, this resolution isn't being passed tonight.
No,
Okay, where's the one for the public hearing?
it's not even.
No, I didn't see it.
It's not.
See? Right up to that, yeah.
All right, so okay, so basically what we have to do here is we have another resolution. I mean, put it this way, this is gonna take a while though, because we do have to do a public hearing and then we have to wait 30 days. For any time from this is recommended.
45.
That,
45.
30 days. Well, it's 30 days once we pass the
30 days
resolution.
is the 15 days.
So basically, it's like, this is not gonna happen until probably January. So, yeah. So basically what we do here, well, I'll get this corrected with the serial bond that's supposed to line of credit. I'll get that done tomorrow, and then we'll have it.
No, just clarify
You're just
with
clarifying
him
the wording.
what, but I don't think,
Through the bond.
yeah.
I'm sure it states it in there itself.
Yeah, so it's estimated and.
Well, it has it up to,
right maximum, doesn't say it is.
Right, is Commonwealth giving you the wording for the resolution?
Yes. They gave us the word,
Right, but at the taxpayer.
No, I'm just saying.
Yes. No.
Next week.
So when we do, well, we have a resolution.
So much better.
Schedule.
Correct. That's what means.
That'll be in November. In other words, we'll have your resolution for the hearing next time.
Yeah, I'm just asking the time, okay. I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, don't put it on the public hearing for the budget.
No. It'll be too- It's gonna probably be mid-November. And then, yes, the timeline is gonna be, the public hearing will be in mid-November. We have to wait 30 days for a permissive referendum on through. And after about 30 days, if there's no permissive referendum, then the bond goes through.
So we're doing the budget, the public hearing for the budget, what date?
Next week.
Public hearing tonight.
And do it on the next board meeting.
Has to be, we have to have preliminary done by the 6th of November.
It's very, we're so close together, this project.
I know. All right, so the next thing here is, we did the authorizing attendance at the, NISAT conference.
No,
No, they did not.
no, you did the thing on Kristen.
Listen, when is that, when is it, the 24th and 25th?
Yeah.
We have to do it now, and so we came with the 28th.
That's right. All right, so I'll motion authorizing attendance at the New York State Association of Conservation Commission NYSACC conference. What's this?
All in
Any
favor?
questions? All in favor?
All right, so that's passed.
And I'll do the next one, a motion resolution to reappoint Brittany Santorelli as the town assessor. Second? Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, I need from you, Lynn, certified resolution.
Stop Debbie, she's on there.
Well, Brittany.
What about Debbie Joe?
I said, I said, don't stop you, you're on the tear, you're doing great.
I'm moving things along.
It was a compliment.
Okay.
I would go to D and we can come back to C because you guys will need discussion of that. The determination, unless you guys, the determination
Yeah,
from the
let's go-
escrow hearing.
Yes, let's come back to that.
Okay. So authorizing the purchase of speed signs, solar powered speed signs. So that
That's-
we don't
That's
need-
not in the right order here.
No.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I did.
See, authorize it. It's in there.
It's in the, towards the back. It's in the back. I'm gonna motion resolution to authorize the purchase of school zone signs at the schoolhouse link.
Yeah, it's on the screen here.
Yeah, cost is $137.50 each, totals $275, charged to A3310.4 traffic control. Do I have a second? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And let's do the Halloween. Yes, that's the next one, right?
Curfew,
So 8 PM?
8 p.m. curfew.
Okay.
Same as last year.
Well, all right, motion to establish a Halloween curfew for October 31st, 2025, Diana second. Any
By the way, the resolution I just noticed is 24. Lynn, that'll have to be amended.
Amend it, thank you. All right, so I'll motion as amended.
As a matter.
Diana second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We did the last one.
First thing, like,
Yeah, we did that one.
Here's the motion.
Oh, here's the motion for the, all right, so I'm gonna motion the resolution scheduling the public hearing on the preliminary town budget, which will be scheduled for Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 at 6 PM. Is that what you want to do right away?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, 6 PM at the town hall. You have a second? Any discussions? All in favor? Aye. I have a motion for.
Now, before we do that, with the tax cap.
That's here too. Hang on. That's here too. Resolution to override the tax levy limit established in general
The
municipal law. We are,
resolution to schedule the hearing.
We already
No.
scheduled the
It's
hearing.
scheduled a hearing.
We're thinking
So the
about
resolution to schedule a public hearing?
that. Or
So my question, I'm not aware, there's nothing on the agenda about this public hearing. I know he showed me the notice was sent out.
Right.
Was this in the minutes? Cause
Yes.
I don't recall.
It was decided at the end of the meeting, but it wasn't put on the agenda, so it's gonna be, we're leaving the public hearing, to open public hearing with everything, the next meeting, we could then jump.
So then there would have to be a public hearing that would have to be open, then you're saying.
Open public
And then-
hearings, keep it open till the
And that
next.
suggests that we, put it in the paper again.
I would suggest that because it wasn't put on the agenda for tonight. I know there was a public notice. But there's.
Okay,
And
so-
I don't recall
So this
this
resolution
discussion.
gets
but then again,
tabled because we're gonna hold the public hearing next time?
No, if you want to open a
public
public
hearing
hearing, you guys have something to, like normally, isn't it done hand in hand with the budget? So you can show why you're looking to increase it.
You want to do the tax increase before that.
No, but, okay, so does somebody have the numbers to present if there's a public hearing on why you guys need to raise? But I'm being told that this was already scheduled for a public hearing tonight. They just forgot to put it on the agenda. Which I have no recollection of this, but I was fasting, so I may have been.
No, currently the general budget is 2.35% over.
Yeah.
So 0.35% over, but then what's happening is the ambulance district.
But this was addressed at the last meeting.
Yes. The reason why we tabled it, because we weren't sure if the ambulance district was exempt from the tax.
But we didn't table it because we
There
knew we
was
had
n-
a timetable.
So you're telling me, when was the hearing initially scheduled? Okay, so you didn't table anything if you scheduled, you passed a resolution.
We didn't get it.
So you guys did pass a resolution scheduling a hearing for today.
Correct.
But there's nothing prepared to display the information for this hearing. Okay, so what? Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna have a hearing, that information needs to be presented at the hearing, not just, okay. Yeah.
So you want to do a resolution?
I would say pass a new resolution. Let's
Okay,
just
so
do
I'll amend this one. to
Well,
say
what's the resolution that was
to-
passed?
it's-
at the
What was the
last meeting.
resolution, what's the title of the resolution that was passed?
I'm looking at the last meeting's resolutions, guys, and I don't see it.
Let's, look, the old packet, it was in the old packet.
You guys are the
Oh, wait, no. Wait, no. Yeah, I found it. I'm looking at it on my own laptop.
You're on vacation. Right, you might see the original agenda, it's a link.
You never had it scheduled for today. You had it scheduled for October 28th at 6 PM.
And that was
This is the
passed.
new one. This is the one that was gonna be in today's packet.
This was the one that was passed last time.
No, it was.
Well, it's the one that was posted on the website.
It
for
was
last-
posted and,
For tonight.
oh no, it's for tonight. I apologize. It was not passed last time. I apologize. So yeah, you have one for tonight that says the hearing will be in 2 weeks.
So that is posted on the website.
This resolution is on the website.
And
but
yet,
yes.
did you pull it up on there?
Oh, you want me to pull it up?
So it looks like
It's right
that
there.
was adequately posted. You don't have to read the whole thing, but
Yes, that's been posted for several days.
Okay, that's the budget.
No,
Is that the overriding budget?
No, that's not the tax override.
No, where is
No.
That's-
right now I'm talking about, this is the one on a public hearing on the budget.
okay, now we're talking tax override.
So
It's not in the package.
No, if you.
No, I
read
thought
the
it is.
original agenda for tonight,
just, I can get it for you. Just give me a moment here. Be glad to get it. The one for the tax override was posted.
Right.
And it is right here.
That's it right there,
That's it on the screen.
so we can do that one tonight for the 28th.
the 28th.
Except it says Monday, October 28th, and it should say Tuesday, Lynn.
So
Did you print that out?
Have you passed the hearing thing already? No. I'm just holding that.
All right, so let me do this thing. So
So amending the day from Monday to Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, at 28.
No.
Now, hold on. All right. Are you going to, all right, we have the resolution up there.
Okay.
We have the resolution up there.
And it is posted.
It's been posted for several days.
And it's for the 28th.
Just the wording is wrong.
The wording is wrong. We can correct that.
Amending the third or fourth paragraph now therefore to Tuesday, October 28th, 2025 at 6 PM instead of Monday. So do we have a motion to pass the resolution schedule hearing as amended?
I'll motion that.
I second
You gotta
it.
do that before the public, before the public.
It's one I have to finish 6:15.
So you're gonna have to do it six, or whatever. you have to do.
6:15.
You can schedule them all
Both
for
for
6,
six.
and as long as it happens after 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we
there's
can
no-
schedule both
Do we
for
have to,
six.
then put a legal notice back in the paper for this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I'll make
All right.
So. The resolution being recorded, right? Oh,
Yes, you are. I'm taping it over here.
Let's wrap this up. It's been a long night for everybody, yeah.
So, okay, so you'll send a legal notice out.
Have Jordan's, made a motion.
I second it.
Any
All in
further?
favor? Aye.
Aye. You have this resolution, you have it.
I will get it.
Okay.
I don't have it.
What's the next one that has to go?
The, the demolition,
Did you approve the funds for the street signs?
Yes.
Yes, we did that.
All right. Housing Smart Communities Initiative?
No, not we did that. That's Diana.
It's yours, Diana, all right.
It's right here.
I did not get a chance to look at this.
housing communities, but
Again, this is an agenda meeting, so, you know, there's really
Oh,
no,
so we can just really discuss it.
If
and
there's
just open this one? Okay, yeah,
All right,
let's
you-
do that.
Well, you, okay, you want to discuss this now? Or do
Yeah, I
Okay.
have to understand what it is.
you want to? You speaking Kaya, Lord Farmer,
All right.
Diana?
Do you have anybody on that committee?
Yes.
yeah. We had a
Yeah,
meeting on the
well,
29th.
They have another one, 21st, Tuesday, a big busy day.
Okay.
So it's just, kind of like the climate smart, but it's housing smart. So you get 12 things, but we get credit to do something, all right? But he said, you know, you don't pick all from, you pick a couple, so we had picked the ADU.
Yeah,
That's which we had, that's probably the one. Right, so we had picked that, and we said what we're gonna, really concentrate on. Yep. Some of the things we already got credit, because we had them already, kind of thing. Okay. But, yeah, we met, last month we met the 21st, which is the second meeting. That's part of the package that he's gonna send ADU. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right, yes, yeah. Okay,
So basically.
but what's all this stuff? This is what we pledge and commit to do?
Right.
Town?
So I just want to, you know, there's some things in here like streamlining, permitting, effect on.
Right.
Family housing, affordable housing. So remember, we have certain things coming into the community that eventually will be a part of that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, I mean.
No, nothing in there.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
to
I'm not really-
understand what that streamlining means.
Right. And like I've been asked that question and I'm saying, is your town streamlined or are you very much say, no, I don't really want to fast track it. You
No,
know, generally, when you're gonna have some kind of something that's coming up in the town, people want to have
Right.
to discuss it and look at it. I'm not forever for fast tracking this kind of stuff.
probably fast.
Yeah,
track
ADUs and
ADUs,
accessory
right, I
housing.
was gonna say, there
Right,
might be
right.
some in here I'd be okay with
Different,
fast
right,
track.
but not multi-family housing.
Well, that's part of the CRC.
This is everything.
That's a component.
all right, so you guys all have this, you can review it and, you know, you can make any proposed changes before the next meeting and, address it at that
We'll
time.
talk about Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to talk about that.
And does this mean we're not co-housing, that's the question for him would be, does this mean we're not co-housing?
Right.
Modify this?
Exactly. We have to do all of
Every
that.
single one has their design.
Okay, so this is tabled for 28th?
Which one did we just table? Pro Housing Pledge or the Housing Smart Communities?
Housing Smart, I thought we did that already.
I thought that's what we were discussing, but maybe
I
we're.
thought we did this one. That, Lynn, yes. There's a resolution in here that says to join the Ulster County Housing Smart Communities Initiative. I thought we did that.
We created,
Look at this,
we created a committee.
in front of it, the page in front of that. That's good between the pro-housing communities, pledge versus housing smart.
Right. For housing and housing. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So was there a resolution, for the housing smart?
We created that committee.
Well,
I don't know if we did something else.
I
at
thought
the
we
same
did
time.
it.
Did we-
Right, you did establish.
When did we establish the
Like I
committee
said,
in
Joe,
March?
so it was early because Joe was in charge of it.
All right.
So we formed a task force.
Yes.
We've designated a housing smart community coordinator.
Yes.
She's the chairman. Yeah.
Yeah, co-sign? Okay.
All right, so you guys, before you have further discussions at the regular meeting this month, you guys should probably confirm whether or not you've actually passed this resolution.
Yes.
That would make sense.
And what about the resolution, this one authorizing demolition? Well, this one is because you got to deal with the bid last week, you know, we have to actually do it. So let's go ahead, yeah, are we ready to motion this one?
Yeah, how long, no, go back to, the housing smart community, initiative, or
Yeah, I think we just said we're gonna just, it's a.
no, the housing smart community initiative also deals with, there's a new, the big one, New York Forward, that's authorized by the Department of State. And what this is a grant. And this grant will allow us to, we put crosswalks in, on Main Street and, Early Avenue. This will allow us to get sidewalks.
Housing Smart Communities Initiative?
We can get, in other words, if we join this committee here, we are allowed to, apply for it, and get sidewalks.
I thought we already did this.
Well, one of the two.
Came up with the housing smart. I thought we did so. So can we?
Bill and answer the one.
Well, we should have every past resolution on record, so you guys should be able to look through the resolutions you passed this year and see whether it was done.
They're all on the website.
So,
Is it easily searchable?
What are you looking for? Which resolution? Yes.
It is, the housing smart, well, there you go. Housing smart. Communities.
You appointed members to a Housing Smart Advisory Committee in July.
Did we do a resolution to join the Ulster County Housing Smart Communities?
Prior to
Initiative?
that?
No.
why don't you,
Yes, you did, way back in like
let's
April,
pull that
in
up and
March.
see what the language is.
Well, I'm gonna have to get it up on this. I'm operating two screens, so just give me a moment.
Language, this one, do the same thing. I thought we did this first and then we. That's what I thought, form a committee.
March 25.
This is quite a lot that we put in there.
Yeah, but things that have already been done. And it's like, and so who? is this?
Okay, on March 25th, join Ulster County Housing Smart Community. You approved that 4-0 with Greg absent.
So this is already approved then.
Let's just look at the language and make sure that it's,
Make sure it's the same. Keep going down.
Sure.
Keep going. Join the program.
designate coordinator. Let's see, there are
This is a
5
good
more,
one.
go to the next.
We already did this.
So it was on March 25th.
The reason why, okay, this is when Joe proposed this.
Yes,
The contract, all right.
But we don't have this one, the plan.
It's like we don't have.
So we have the committee and we do,
Yes, it's the same.
yes, and we're not doing a pledge today.
No. You're gonna have to go at the 21st meeting.
All right, now it all makes
Well, we're
sense.
gonna have some discussion on it.
but I have a meeting.
No, I don't know more
The
than they
next
do.
one is,
The resolution to demolish 3490209. Yep, I'll make the motion. I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We already have the contract for it. There it is.
Now we're back to the planning board, please, not.
And did you do Cedar Street too?
We did that last time.
Yeah, I did see the street.
That was last one?
Yeah, last meeting.
Because it's on our, this is my agenda for, oh,
It's on my agenda for tonight.
yeah.
It is?
Unless, hang on.
We did that last one.
I don't have that on.
It's on here. Whereas last week, authorized the superintendent provided the enter the contract with. We did it.
I don't have it in my packet, so, do you have a contract for that ready to go?
Yeah.
We have a contract for that, yeah.
So
nobody-
so this might be the same thing as what we just did for
Same thing,
also
it's
nine. Yeah, we accepted the bid last time. They needed the resolution.
When you present it online, you gotta read it.
Yeah, I don't think it's
It's not.
The 84 one should be in this packet, but I don't think the 209 one is.
We have the 209 one. 209
That's, okay,
209 is.
No, 209 is in the packet. Here it is.
84 Cedar Street, we did that last time.
84 is not wrong.
So-
Should be like 209.
Coming down.
Down here.
Yeah, down. I just want to see if the 84 Peter.
Sure. No, that's a town budget. No.
Yeah.
No.
In other words, the authorized supervisor to enter the contract.
And that's the last thing, I think. No, That's it.
And this is
Well,
209.
why don't you confirm then before the next meeting whether 84 was done last?
Hold on. Let's take a look.
84 was only, we accepted the bid.
We accept the bid.
Okay.
That was all.
But we don't have the resolution in the packet.
We have 209, and then 84 Cedar. We did 84 Cedar.
And we're not gonna
We're not gonna-
find it and read it in, okay?
No.
No, we'll do that 28th.
So 84 Cedar gets held.
Just bring the fill up for overnight, bring popcorn.
These people are killing me.
We can try.
Wait, hold on a second. So this one here, resolution to override. the tax levy.
Yeah, what's here?
Was it?
We already passed that.
What do we pass?
No, we just passed to schedule the.
Budget public hearing.
Okay, so we're not passing a resolution until there's a public hearing. Information is presented as to why you believe it's necessary to increase the.
So we actually have to schedule a public hearing.
So that was done, yeah.
That was done.
Now we just got the.
And Lynn will send the notice out.
Yeah, you scheduled both public hearings.
So we have a public hearing on the budget and also the tax levy.
All right, so I believe the only business left is to go into, to discuss the, chapter 19. So has everyone had an opportunity to review the information provided by the planning board with regard? You guys already had a hearing on this, closed the hearing, and, are ready to discuss how you are going to decide. So, discussion.
Yeah, I thought it was, when I was on the planning board, if you had a visual assessment, you did not give that to the lawyers to investigate, you didn't do it to the planners to investigate. The planner spent 5.25 hours at one sitting and then charged them again for over an hour. For, this is to build a house where nobody could even see it from the road, a mile down the road. And the planner charged them over an hour, 1.75 or 1.25 for the planning board meeting. The guy never was there for an hour. So she must take the whole meeting and then divide it up by how many people were at that meeting. And she charged for the agenda, which was on Zoom. That's ridiculous.
There is nobody there. In 2025, I have not had a result
Right.
on anything other than an engineer.
That's what I mean. I mean, this is
So-
what a rip off to the taxpayers to make them pay these
Are you
fees.
calling into executive to discuss?
No, this is at, chapter 19.
I know, what, were you going into
No.
executive session?
No.
Okay, I somehow.
No, but you gotta wait till the public comment. So I agree with this.
I am still chairman of the planning board.
We didn't,
As of this minute.
but not when this was 2024. This is
2024.
I also
That's
have,
when his fees are from.
I also had Paul review.
Yeah.
I also had Paul review and also. he agreed with what he said.
Yeah, no. it's
You have to
ridiculous.
say that.
I looked at it, it was not
it was not nearly as onerous as the one that I did in the spring, but it's all. I can't even imagine what Bonnie spent 5.25 hours on which thing for a visual assessment for a house that wasn't even built yet when you couldn't see it from the road. Like he's got 15 acres. Are you kidding me? So.
All right, so we've had several of these hearings before. All those hearings have, basically, the decision had to do with the procedural requirement of notifying them of the charges in a timely fashion. So this is not, you guys, based on the information, have determined that the notices and the summaries, monthly summaries were given in a timely fashion. So that is not an issue in this case. So now you guys need to decide, and this is the first case in which you guys are addressing whether it's reasonable and necessary for
Can you
the
read that, like, well, reasonable and what's necessary? It's, like I said, I've been, was on the planning board for 10 years. If there was a visual assessment for a house or something, we would ask Glenn. If he was there, this time would be Paul. What do you think? If anybody lived near it, they'd be like, oh, I've already seen it. Not a problem. It did not purposely.
Well, just remember when we're discussing this, whatever standards you guys are setting are going to be, you know, so you need to justify, you need to describe how it was unreasonable. Not necessarily, well, what we did in the past was this. Why were
how would
these
you spend
specific?
5 hours on a visual assessment for a house that wasn't built yet when the guy's got 15 acres and you weren't going to see it from the road? What would you spend 5.25 hours the very first time for? And to charge them to go visit the site, and to charge them another time to look at it, and to charge them for the planning board meeting for over an hour. This guy was never in the planning board for an hour discussing it. They immediately told me we could have a White House, and that they were going to have to, like, so I feel like it's, if it's not reasonable, it's a minimum. I also don't feel like then we, the town board, and the taxpayers of Curly should also pay those fees. No. So is there something like that we need to do procedurally?
Well, the thing is, right now, we're addressing the fees that were assessed against this particular property and property owner. If we want to challenge them directly by not paying the professionals, we can do that. And with the professional attorneys, any kind of mediation of fees, if there's a challenge, has to go to a specific thing. I do understand that, you know, that's a different question that is not before the board, so it probably is not appropriate to discuss right now, but I'd be more than happy to talk to you about.
I will say we did address this, Debs, because I will say we did address it because if you talk to Tracy, she has not used the planner or the attorney the whole year because they didn't need to. So that's how that was by addressing it. Because, you know, the 2023, 2024 fees were ridiculous. So that's how we address it. But is it fair to charge the customer? You know, at this point, we've already paid the fees, so try to get that money back from Bonnie, that's not gonna happen. You know, we don't have any new stuff coming up.
We haven't given Donna the fees.
Oh, we didn't? Okay.
Well, that's what that's.
Well,
So let's not focus on them. Let's focus on the only question that you guys are deciding right now is whether these fees are reasonable and necessary. Now, the statute gives you certain guidance,
That's what I'm
and that's
asking
why
you.
I
That's
gave
what
you
I'm
guys all the memo that outlines all this, so I can read it to you now again.
Yes, please.
That fees are necessarily incurred if it was necessary to assess the compliance of the application with any applicable law and criteria for a determination, including review of a prospective impacts of the proposed land use pursuant to seeker. Okay, so in assessing whether these charges are reasonable and necessary, you may consider the size and the type of the proposed land use, the potential environmental issues raised by the application, the infrastructure proposed in the application, and other special conditions the agency might deem relevant.
I
So,
would say that we were using Bonnie when I was on that board, and we were not charging customers this amount of money for visual assessments until the last 2023, 2024. So it's not like she did this every time. it just became, I think, a thing, but again, what in the world would you spend 5 hours on something that hadn't even been, you took charges separately for when you drove over there? It's
Oh my God, you gotta be
minimum
kidding me.
probably of use now to any kind of. We never used to use it, so if it's $500 if we want to charge them $250 and then,
It has an application.
So right now, it looks like there were $720 charged by the professional planning services, which includes 5.25 hours of time. Have you looked at the breakdown there, as well as it looks like it's a total for the legal services? Hold on.
Yeah, it's so over the application.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand that.
But with Article 19, same thing, taxpayer pick it up. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it looks like legal fees, total of 645, is that? No, there's,
That's right. Because if they, you paid a $500 application fee, so that would mean another $865 to cover that $720 plus the $645.
What he owes is $870.
865.
You paid 500. With no bill.
So the total fees are $1365. You paid $500 in an application fee, leaving the $865 that's mentioned.
Like $720 goes to Nelson Public Borders, the rest goes to Lions.
So what's Lions, how, is there?
so there were 3 bills received from, or no, 2 bills received from Lions, one for 470 and one for 100. So I had mistake. There was actually another Nelson Voorhees bill for 75. That was in August.
None of those fees are reasonable?
Well, we never prior used to involve them at all. I mean, I can see if they're gonna charge $100 or something, but 5 hours, I mean, that is just.
Well, I don't think that it is rational to say that, when we retain a professional services, that no fees are reasonable. I can understand you saying that there is excessive,
Yeah.
but again, you need to explain why they're excessive, why, it was not necessary, but.
Right, so my question is then, we should determine what we think is reasonable?
We can,
That's right.
we can determine what's
No.
And look at the criteria that is in the statute to assist you in that determination.
And, are there a lot of bills still outstanding for 2024?
I don't think that that's relevant to this. You guys are looking at this application. This hearing is limited solely to this application and whether the bills that you guys should have reviewed prior to this application
I
are
did.
reasonable and
We did,
necessary
we did.
for what this application was for. So I think all these other questions regarding the overall policies and what kind of things are outstanding or what kind of professional services we aren't paying can be addressed in the appropriate venue, which is not this hearing.
Okay, so again, my question goes back to, it's up to us, and my question to you, Matt, is it's up to us to either determine that none of those fees were reasonable or that there was some level of reasonable fees in there.
Correct. And you should support that with
And that
some of the
goes-
criteria that was discussed.
So I believe that based on the way for that. Like the one, only portion of those that would have been. Or. Some of those might be reasonable, and whether or not it would take the amount of time that somebody do.
Right.
Well, how long will it take to do a legal assessment? You should refer back to other ones, go look at other legal assessments, and determine that based on that, and then you can point the president at that. I think you're gonna find that it's very minimal. Well, the visual assessment I saw in one of the other photos was $100. And it's being charged there $550, but don't just guess it, go back.
Right, we need to actually.
Well, I thought that I said that we couldn't do that. But this,
basis on this.
No, you can review, your determination is what's reasonable and necessary for this project. What,
A visual
for
assessment.
it, so this project, you look at the size and type of proposed land. You look at other visual assessments and say, hey, okay, there's 5 of these other ones and,
We charge
comparable size,
$100,
comparable
$150.
issues, comparable, and it was only charged this. And here, they're charged 1,500. Okay, why is there this difference? That would be, but again,
So there could be some reason, it doesn't mean that we waive the whole thing
No.
immediately.
Well-
So you pay 500 for the application. Or you say.
yeah, but that's put in escrow.
Okay.
That goes into the kitty, and then.
But that's for those fees, that's not an application fee, it's not $500,
Right,
you're gonna pay
okay.
for everything that goes on, that $500 is supposed to be what. So you're saying the 500, wait, so now I'm confused, the 500 is not included in the.
In what's owed, no, that's
Okay.
what's in excess. So they
Okay.
bill against that 500 and are supposed to send a notice that, hey, your escrow is empty and give us another $1,000 or something.
And let me say this too, we're supposed to,
My understanding from everything that's been, is that there was,
statements sent.
There
I
were
just
statements
say
sent on
and
a
then they
timely
did a
basis.
negative and they did not. But here's the thing, when we collect the $500 fee, we're saying to you, it should cost us $500, that's how it's like a good thing. Yeah, or.
The plan board established that as an initial application.
But that doesn't mean you take the whole 500.
No,
Exactly.
So it's
It's
reasonable,
$100, you give them $400. Right.
99% of the application for the covenant. That $500 is to be fully returned to all of the applicants, because we have not used any of those funds.
So how long do we have to make the determination? Are we already in our time limit?
no, you guys.
So
have-
can we then keep this?
Yeah, you guys can get,
And let's.
So you want to
and
get-
some examples of other
so
applications.
ask from the planning board to get,
This planning board.
the billing information for escrow fees for the last 5, whatever
Visual
visual
assessments.
assessment.
For new house, this is a new house, well, there's been 0 this year,
Okay, so I have to go back.
So see if you can find,
but we will go back to 2024.
And go back to 23.
Even before that, because like I said, I was on for 10 years, and we did not involve the planner or the attorney for these. So, got it, I got it, but I will tell you. I will welcome you, come with me, and we will make things fine.
Yeah.
It was weird, right?
Let's go look at them. All right, so we're gonna leave this, we're looking at
Yeah,
this, we're
so
gonna
you
do a little
got
research.
table the decision.
Table the decision. Go ahead, formally.
No, you don't need to-
No, we're gonna table this decision till the next meeting. And do a
So
little
could you do
research.
me a favor, since you're on the planning board, you are, some of these are.
I'm fine, yes.
And by the way, that's where she does, just look. Okay, that they're only a negative.
This application? This-
No, the negative 720.
Are you talking about this stop thing, or are you talking about everybody? Just others. There's two, right? Don't forget, don't get them mixed up.
Yeah, I think there's 2 stops.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
two stops.
Because I know there's a new application.
You're not supposed to go in there. I get yelled at every time.
So we can go in there.
Yeah, and I would say you guys can review, tabled and
Yes, we're
decision.
good.
What's the next order of business?
What
Public
is the
comment
next
number
thing
2?
on the agenda?
All right, so do I have a motion for public comment number 2?
I motion public comment.
Matt has taken over the meeting.
All right, I think we have people here for public comment.
Sure.
All right.
Greg Tetchell.
Hi, Greg.
So the first question I have is for Matt. Did you get my comments about the visual assessment overlay?
Probably.
Okay, so Paul, of course, has put together a lot of changes for zoning.
Yes.
One of them happens to be to put new natural resources inventory zoning map as the official town map. Corrects a lot of mistakes that are on the existing map and adds a visual assessment overlay so that we can streamline visual assessment for 8 more districts. The idea being that a lot of parcels in the
I know, but there is.
do not
I did,
need visual assessment because they do not have the necessary elevation to matter. So,
Perfect.
what I wanted to do was make sure that you were aware that the way the current code is written is that it gives sort of loose definitions of Whale Mountain, early flats. First and foremost, we need to get really clear as to what that is. We really need to define what a sparkler is. Yep. And there are 3 distinct ways in which you can define the visual assessment area. So those can be steep slope based. They can be view shed based. So that's an observer looking at a scenery and you have some sort of elevation and what's visible at that azimuth line. Okay? And you can also do it by definition. So for instance, Hurley Flats, everything between Hurley Mountain Road south to the creek. Okay, that kind of thing. So any combination of those is good. It's just that we need to be really clear about what we're choosing so that the map reflects that, because guaranteed somebody's going to challenge it. So this is us getting our ducks in a row, getting very clear about the definitions, about the methodology used, and move forward with that.
Is that in the changes Paul sent us, the changes?
Yes, I worked with Paul to come up.
Okay,
'cause he
I
was-
looked at all of those, but it was a couple weeks ago before the briefing, so
Yeah.
my brain was not there for that.
I'm
He
sending it
was-
to you
when we
right now,
first
Carter.
started- yeah, When we first started that project, he was really keen on coming up with how do we figure out where 100 feet off of the steep slope is. Okay, so that's what that, it's a steep slopes analysis.
Okay.
All right, it's the way it maps out. I did a full view shed analysis too, so it's a superset of view shed. Meaning that if you're looking from the South Shore, so the reservoir north to Ponchi and Ohio, everything that's visible is also a steep slope.
That's his swap.
Okay, but steep slopes covers things that are facing north, right? That are not visible within the town. Are you good with that? We're not gonna do that. Right, and there's also, all right, so you're now on the rail trail on the north side of the reservoir, looking south. Okay, what do you see? You shed analysis, you can do an elevation, steep slope analysis. Okay, but like I said, you can also do it by definition. Anything over 800 feet elevation. We've seen. Visual assessment. And so there are options, and some are buried in that email.
I just forwarded to them. So
Okay. Is basically a discussion of what those options are.
Okay.
You sent the goals?
Yep.
So I don't have really any stake in the game as to which one you think makes sense.
there should
We
be.
just need to pick one and be deliberate about it.
And you don't have any recommendation necessarily?
So you need to pick.
We've gone with one.
So, I'd say broadly speaking, we need to do a definition of what Hurley Flats means. Okay, because the methodology used for that is quite different than the center on mountains. There's some slopes and so forth. And really the other choice is, do we want to really cover every single slope in the town? Or are we only really interested in the things that affect the scenic portion?
Are you not interested in things that happen? Well,
So this thing has nothing to do with that.
But is it just visual assessment? Just visual assessment. You're just talking about visual
Visual
assessment.
assessment.
So it has nothing to do with like clearing and agree and escarpment,
Zoning
that's a
regulations,
separate.
whatnot. This is a delineation that happens on the zoning.
Like this, you know,
this guy for the, see, you never would have been out there with one second. Yep. Anything to the highlight, but it's not a highlight, but it's not. Okay. That
Yeah,
doesn't
and
mean-
it's really to streamline the process, so that we're not tying up the planning board
Yep.
and, the community with unnecessary,
Yep, those.
right? Because nobody has a choice, that's how the regs are listed. You gotta do it.
Okay. Okay, right now, if you're an A4, then you're automatically successful. That way. Okay.
Right, so this is an opportunity to clean that up. And then
The rational basis for when visual assessments necessary, and it's now.
Yes,
and then it's grounded in science, and here we go.
Okay. Sounds good. There's something else, please?
Yep, that's
Oh, that was it? Okay.
And I would just say,
So
so,
I'm saying the definition about the square foot inside shop, so. I gave a bunch of definitions from other residential.
I have
Other
the
codes
times
that.
I've always thought that we got here.
It's going to the boys can tell. Yeah. It's starting to one person.
So, and I imagine you'll be here, when they do have the hearings, because that's, we're gonna wanna go through great detail, get as much
If you guys
public
want-
feedback on certain changes as possible.
If you wanna, to show them that with just view shed, with just steep slopes, with by definition. I can do that.
No, that would be great.
Can I? But the other thing is, when looking at the change to the zoning code, I think the two of them should be part and parcel. Because the code should be drafted so that it can work with the map. And we can limit it to areas specifically that have rural impact, take the rest of it out of the planning board's purview but working with that map.
Yeah.
so that they're not-
No, and the code should reflect reality and a rational reasoning why certain regulations apply to certain areas and so forth.
Yeah, and just like from the survey that we did, and it's very tied into what will be in the comp plan and so forth, so this is something that's community back, we have to be important.
Very good.
Great.
All right. Very good.
You want to speak?
We don't want to listen to me. Not after what went on before, it would be best if I didn't speak.
Sounds good.
You want to speak?
All right, do I have any other motions?
I do want to speak, and I know that Wendy's gonna whack me. So as somebody who does utilize the transfer station, I think that it is at key points, it is important to look at the staffing levels and how you structure it. I also strongly disagree with the heavy fee to the out of town residents. If you're able to generate some level of revenue based on the weight or the tonnage fee, the weight fee. Because I think that the fee for bringing in your waste is the thing that if you focus on it. But the question is, can they handle the heavy traffic of out of towners? But I do see and have heard from a lot of people who no longer buy, right? Because at $90, it doesn't make sense, especially if you're only going to go and bring a certain new level of trash. But also by making the focus on the tonnage fee, you're not overburdening the elderly or the single person who doesn't go as frequently as a household. You might as well really look at the fees that are generated based on the amount of trash somebody brings in.
Probably give a free resident senior pass.
But, and that, anyway, so that's all, but I'm there frequently, I mean, they do generally hustle, they really do help people that need help, I watch that all the time. I wouldn't wanna be the person who's standing out in the rain and the snow all day long and having, it may be that you don't need to be open as many days a week as you are. That you would look at reducing this, and I also would highly recommend that you look at the hours, because somebody like me who has a normal job can only go on Saturday.
Because it's not opened until 9, and it closes at 3.
Open earlier.
Right,
And
right.
late.
So,
Right, yes.
so I think that you really, it may be, we'll look at the program, but things you work, and I had actually advocated and called Mike and said, you guys should all watch.
Yeah.
And go and work a day and see what it's like.
And speaking of the transfer station, I understand that we have a vehicle that's not being used, that they can use.
What's
It's
not being
given to
used?
the building department, the building department's not using, they are now using.
They're using it.
They used to have it up there. They are now
They're
using.
using it. They are using it.
I said one condition, we never got an amendment to 84 from my
I'm sorry.
Just see that amendment. Based on the construction.
If we want to start on the streets.
It's supposed to provide such amendment to 84.
Okay.
I just have one comment. So it's for some public comment?
Want to say something?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Just go ahead. This Thursday is the Old Shirley Library vote, 4 to 7. Last year we only had 26 people voting. So they really want more people to come. Doesn't affect you guys going to the restaurant. It's only the Old Shirley people.
Definitely doesn't affect you.
I should be able to walk.
Don't you
down the
live
street
outside of Hurley? Oh, you live in Hurley. I'm sorry.
I said I should be able to walk down the street Thursday.
I'm sorry.
evening.
They also are, you can do an absentee, but you have to pick it up yourself. I can't pick up the absentee for somebody. You have to go there yourself and get the absentee.
Wendy, I was probably thinking of Maggie.
So even if you just did that.
Yeah,
any day this
I'm
week.
one of the few employees that lives in the town. I'm one of the few town employees that lives in the town.
Oh, okay. But you're
I
West-
believe
but
that you're employed
you're
by the
West
town.
Shirley. Right, but
Should
you're West
live in the
Shirley,
town.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
This is only Old Shirley.
Yeah.
West Shirley has to-
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion, close public comment number 2, since everybody here has spoken, at least once. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I make a bigger motion, to close and adjourn this meeting.
Second.
No executive session.
All in favor?
Aye. All right. And I do gotta say something, I do apologize for the, I do apologize for the,